Sarah Jones Chambers. I'm a resident here in 633D, and I'm the RAC Vice President and the host coordinator. That means it's my job to make sure new residents, whom we call sweet peas, receive a proper orientation when they move into their new life at Freedom Plaza. It's my distinct pleasure to welcome you this morning to the first Sweet Pea Orientation Seminar for 2022. We did a smaller version of this last year, but we've been through so much here and everywhere. With COVID, the restrictions, the masks, the search for the new normal, whatever that is. So about a month ago, our executive director, Angie Rohr, met with me and we agreed that we hadn't been able to do the right job for orientation that we really wanted to do over the last couple of years due to COVID. So we decided that our new residents with the green dots, our sweet peas, that would be you, deserve this kind of orientation. And I hope when the day is over, you'll feel that you got your money's worth for what you paid to come here today. So Angie and I discussed having a great, big, beautiful Sweet Pea Orientation Seminar with all our key directors who are going to tell you about what they do and what they do for you. And with the rest of the Freedom Plaza team filling in with what they do. And then we were going to have coffee and goodies and then lunch. And Angie was very receptive to all those ideas. And then we discussed the opportunity to meet with everyone afterward and have a social time and hors d'oeuvres and adult beverages. Some people might even call that a cocktail party. And she didn't blink an eye. And she asked me the proposed date, and I immediately said April the 1st. But she didn't ask me why. I had a special reason for picking April the 1st. This is the anniversary of the day 11 years ago that my hero and I moved in here. And every year we waited for management to throw a big party to commemorate that momentous occasion. And you know, every year they never did. Well, I've taken matters into my own hands. And today, after you all learn a lot, and you talk to people, and you ask questions, then we are going to have a great big party to celebrate all of our moving to Freedom Plaza on my anniversary. Thank you, Angie. The agenda for today features presentations on the important aspects of Freedom Plaza life, the organizations and the services. A slide for the agenda, like the one you see there, will appear before each speaker with a big red arrow to indicate where we are on the agenda so you won't lose track of what's going on. In order to keep the management jargon and the arcane official department names for each of our departments like housekeeping and maintenance to a minimum, we have purposefully used informal identifiers on that agenda. So you won't see what Freedom Plaza considers their department names on that agenda. But I don't think you'll have much trouble figuring out what those people do. There's a lot to learn about life at Freedom Plaza. Right off the bat, there's a brand new set of acronyms, like IRD and MSF and DNR. Then there are those code words, such as higher level of care, and meal credits, and unit terms, And as if that weren't enough, many of the acronyms sound very much alike. It was 3 years before I knew the difference between CDS and C&S. There are people who've been here longer than that who still can't tell rock from rack. But if you pay attention today, when the day is over, all will be made clear for you. But let's go over a few administrative announcements. There are some pads and pens at the table. If a question comes up for you, please write it down. I know most of us think we can remember a question for 10 minutes, but I know for sure not everybody can. We don't want to miss any of your questions. Coffee and the remaining goodies are on the back table, and you should help yourself. But don't spoil your lunch, okay? We don't have printed copies of the slides, but if you want a printed copy, in the back there are tables where there is a place you can write down which particular presentation you would like a copy of. So either the name of the department or the name of the presenter will be good enough. And at the end of the day, Stephanie and I will pick those up and we'll take care of it. One other thing, there's some handouts back there too. There are restrooms for those of you who are not familiar with this building on either side of this auditorium, right out in the A corridor. There's one on that side and one on that side. They're unisex. So when the mood strikes you, go right ahead, because if everybody waits till lunchtime, there's going to be a big line. Now I'm going to turn the podium over to Angie Rohr, our executive director, who's been here even longer than my 11 years, and who knows about everything there is to know when it comes to Freedom Plaza. So here's Angie.
Thank you, Sarah. I can't claim to know everything, but I do have a wonderful team that I rely on greatly and does a great job for all of you and our employees here. I don't want to steal too much thunder from the presentations you're going to hear today. I want to, in advance, thank all of the leadership team that is going to present today, including Karina from ROC. And as Sarah was talking about acronyms, I thought, that is so true. Many of you, or some of you at least, have probably met Mary Lydecker, who is our new Director of Financial Services, or the acronym DFS. She started in January and has never worked in senior living before or any kind of retirement community. And so when we start talking in meetings, it's like a foreign language to her when we throw out acronyms and phrases that we use every day. So we always have to be very cognizant that some people don't know what we're talking about, and it's important for us to explain it. But the main thing I want to cover right here in the beginning, really briefly, is how Freedom Plaza works from a management perspective. So our management company is Life Care Services. We've been with Life Care Services since February 1st of 2020, right before the pandemic. And they took over for our previous owner, which was Brookdale. And our owner, who physically owns our community, is HealthPeak. And Life Care Services is our management company. So coincidentally, I became the executive director on the day Life Care Services took over as our management company. Before that, I served in a couple different roles, which I'll talk about a little bit later today. But so what this slide is showing is really the management synergy of Freedom Plaza. We have Life Care Services first, and then you see the ROC, or Retired Officers Corporation, which is really distinct to Freedom Plaza. No other Life Care Services community in our portfolio, or the whole company for that matter, has a partnership with an organization like we have with ROC. So We're very fortunate to have the partnership we do with the Retired Officers Corporation, and Karina is going to talk about that in more detail. The next symbol is RAC, or the Residents Association Council. That's our resident council that's required by Florida Statute 651. And if you want to know more about Chapter 651, I'm happy to print out a copy for you. It's actually not terrible reading, but it is the Florida law that governs retirement communities like Freedom Plaza and advocates on your behalf. So that statute requires that we have a resident council, and a whole bunch of things happen with that resident council executive committee and about being transparent. But just a little bit of information. Ron Sweet is your RAC president, and he and I meet on a bi-weekly basis and talk about what he's hearing. I talk about what I'm hearing and what plans we have to improve Freedom Plaza in the near future. So we have a really good working relationship. All of our department heads, and I'm stealing thunder, so I'll make it quick, but they work with their respective RAC committees and attend those meetings. So we work very closely with the RAC Council, and that's really what makes up Freedom Plaza. So Life Care Services, ROC, and RAC is how we all work together to make Freedom Plaza the wonderful place that it is. And now I'm going to turn it over to our next presenter. I don't know if we get the agenda slide up here.
Good morning, sweet peas. I don't know how the guys feel about being called a sweet pea, but it is what it is. All right, so I'm gonna talk about the Administrative Services Department, which entails transportation and also security. Maybe not. There we go. Is the clicker working? All right, so this is Vanessa Ivy. She's our security manager at the front desk. I'm sure you have all seen her. She gets tons of compliments every day on how pretty she looks at the front desk. But she does an amazing job down there. She oversees the front desk operations and also the tram driver. If some of you might not know, the tram drivers are also security officers. So they perform multiple tasks each day with transporting employees, visitors, and the residents to different places in the community, as well as patrolling the campus, looking for suspicious activity, making sure buildings are secured in the evening time and stuff like that. So she oversees quite a bit. Next slide, please. Oh, so we have, this is Transportation Supervisor. This is Gina Robertson. Many of you guys probably seen her because so many people use transportation each day. And Kent Walter, he is our dispatcher. He's actually responsible for scheduling the appointments. You might have called him on the phone and talked to him. He's responsible for dispatching all the drivers to take residents to their whatever appointment that they have, and also to be picked up. They're located on the second floor, the transportation office. Administrative services statement: transportation to provide safe, clean transportation at Freedom Plaza and GBT, Plaza West, the Inn, and Freedom Plaza Assisted Living and the Memory Care. Security's mission statement is to keep our residents and their assets protected at all times. Freedom Plaza, transportation charges, appointments within 35-mile radius, and we also have a charge sheet that goes over that a little bit more in depth that was up there at one of the tables, just in case you don't really understand some of the charges and stuff. So within the 35-mile radius, we have medical and dental appointments. They are at no charge as long as they're within that 35-mile radius. Anything outside of that, there is a charge for that. Financial appointments, there's no charge. And the airport, it's just a flat rate of $60 to be taken to the airport, picked back up. Other local appointments, non-wheelchair trip, $5 round trip. Wheelchair bus trip, $40 round trip. Appointments outside the 35-mile radius for wheelchair bus vehicles is $8.50 per mile over 35 miles, and car vans $3.25 a mile for over 35 miles. After hours, it's $20 an hour. Yes. You need to go to the bank, or if you have, if you want to go get your taxes done, anything that falls within that realm. It's charged to the resident's account. We don't accept cash. We don't accept tips or anything like that. It's charged to the resident's account. All right. Free bus trip transportation. Bus trips are sponsored by the resident program, which is activities with Susie Burt, and we do dinner, theater, ball games, etc. Shopping bus. We have a shopping bus on Mondays and Thursdays. 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. Those are the pickup times and the drop-off times. And then another bus comes later that afternoon to do another trip. We have a bank trip Monday, 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. A library trip Thursday, 11:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And the dinner bus from GBT to Freedom Plaza runs Monday through Saturday from 4 to 8, and on Sunday, for brunch, you call the tram, and they will take you back and forth to GBT. Transportation, we have 10 drivers, 1 transportation supervisor, which is Gina, 1 dispatcher, which is Ken, and some of the drivers drive over 200 miles a day, 12,400 miles a month, and over 140,000 miles a year. So they're getting it. I see the mileage each day that they drive. And sometimes it's amazing that those guys are driving so many miles per day. And when you look at us as a total department, they're really driving a lot. Security staff composed of the front desk and the tram drivers, 1 security manager, which is Vanessa, and we have 10 security officers. The front desk is manned 24 hours a day. So if you have any problems, doesn't matter what time of day or night, they're there to service everyone. Services offered, guest room reservations. We answer the phones, receive packages, rescue locked out residents, which we get quite a bit of that, and monitor alarm systems. And these are just a few things that they offer the front desk, but they do so much more. For you all that have been here for a while, you know we do so much more than that. We're here to help you with most of your daily needs, okay? Security. Apartment key cards, apartment authorization forms, guest housekeeping, maintenance, security patrols, entire campus, including Freedom Plaza, GBT, Plaza West, assisted living and memory care, monitor security cameras at Freedom Plaza and GBT, and lost and misplaced items. So if you have a security need, if you see someone suspicious on campus, or you see someone that you think shouldn't be here, I don't want anyone to approach someone from the outside. If you call the front desk will dispatch the security driver. They'll go check it out. I know we get a lot of people fishing into like the ponds behind GBT and other areas on campus, or we see people walking their dogs on campus that don't belong here without a leash. I don't want anybody to approach them because we don't know who that person might be, right? So if you call the front desk, we'll dispatch the security driver to take care of it. I'm here Monday through Friday myself. I'll usually go out there and take care of it myself, or something like that. So just call the front desk and it will take care of it. We have an insurance system. It monitors emergencies on behalf of the residents. Pull cords in apartments can alert the front desk. System will support pendants. Front desk will call the resident. In case of emergency, EMT will be called, and the EMT will determine whether we need to call rescue services out here to take care of that situation. Was everyone issued a pendant upon arriving here? No? GBT only? Okay. So the pendant system, usually the pendant system you wear on your person, usually around your neck or something like that. So just in case you have an emergency, you push the button. Sometimes we'll call you, we'll get an alert on the system. We'll call you if your battery needs to be changed because we're notified through the system that batteries need to be changed and stuff like that. And you also have your pull cords that are located throughout the community. We have pull cords at the pools. We have pull cords in different areas of the building and also in the apartments.
Clarification, is everyone that has a pendant?
Just Golfview Terrace.
Everybody?
Just Golfview Terrace.
Oh, okay.
Not to hijack Jeff's presentation, but the reason that Golfview Terrace gets pendants and Plaza Building does not, is because there's a pull cord in every room in the apartments in this building. At Golfview Terrace, there's only a pull cord in the bathroom. So that's why they are given pendants whenever they move in.
Thank you. We're going to talk a little bit about forms. The front desk is a place to go for friendly smile, to pick up mail packages and sign up for church bus. We have mango cleaner brochures at the front desk, along with off-campus transportation requests and apartment authorization forms. So the apartment authorization form is for you to fill out, and it tells us, and we keep those on file at the front desk. So if you're like hospitalized, you're going away on a trip or something, you let us know who you want to enter your apartment while you're gone, right? So those are very important to have, whether that be if you want housekeeping to enter your apartment when you're gone, or a family member that's on file, or maintenance to that degree you want to enter your apartment, okay? Next slide. Okay, so that concludes my presentation. Thank you, and we'll see you around.
Good morning. Good morning. So I guess I need to talk for like an hour and a half because lunch is at noon. All right. Heard any good jokes lately? All right. So food and beverage department. Got a little fancy with the slide and give you a little color there. We've got a lot to go over. Going to the next slide. We're going to go over this agenda today. We're going to meet the team. We're going to talk about the main dining room, which I've seen you all in the main dining room. Reservations, a full count dining portal, in-room dining, pickup and medical clearance, the American Grill, and the Plaza Club. So let's get started. So first, let's meet our team. Obviously, that's me. Hello. If I haven't met you all, I do apologize. I've been moonlighting in the kitchen as well as serving at sometimes, mostly in the kitchen though. But we are, with the help of our executive chef, the amazing Chris Wynn, back up here as he had taken a hiatus for a while to help with catering. So I'm able to get more into the dining rooms. Followed by Pamela Evans, our Assistant Food and Beverage Director. Pamela is new to the team. She's been here about 8 months now. She comes to us from MacDill Air Force Base. She used to plan all of the major events there. Her events were as small as 20 and as large as 5,000. So she comes to us with a great wealth of knowledge in regards to catering and planning events. We had a pre-planning party yesterday for our 30th anniversary, not to steal Susie's thunder, but she brought some really good ideas to the table, so we're excited and happy to have her as part of our team. And then Melly Aguilera, who you'll see at the end. I know you all see her running around in the dining room. She's kind of a jack of all trades. She loves to be in the middle of service and loves to just help as much as she can. She's great, she's fast and efficient. So Melly actually started with us many, many years ago as a 16-year-old server. And she left us for a while after she was promoted up through the ranks and had worked as a manager at a McDonald's for a while, saw the position became open and came back. She said this has always been her home and she wanted to come back here. So she definitely has a love for the campus and we appreciate her as part of our team. Jacob Claypool is our sous chef. When chef is not available in the kitchen, Jacob has been running the kitchen and running it very efficiently in the trying times that we have had. Jacob has been here for 9 years in the sous chef position for about 5. He knows the ins and outs of the kitchen. He knows which residents like things well done, who likes no onions, who needs no pepper, and who is gluten-free. So he's a very important integrated part of our team. Rosa Ozuna, I'm sure anyone that is attending any event in this one today, Rosa has been here for 27 years. She just celebrated her 27th year anniversary. Rosa has worked diligently in not only the kitchen, but helped building what we call the Plaza Club and our catering and banquet center down the street. She has worked every single event that we've ever had and helped plan it, and has a long-standing following of groups and residents that come in year after year just to work with Rosa. So she's definitely such a huge part of our team. And then we have our grill team. Amber Oberly, who is our grill supervisor, has been here for a little under a year and has done very, very well taking over the grill with Sonia. And Sonia has been here for 26 years in the American Grill. So we have a lot of tenure on our dining team and a lot of dedication, and these are the faces of the individuals that when you need something, we're the ones that are gonna help get you the answers. Sorry, I put a little filler in there. The dining room, drum roll. All right, so for those of you that have come down to the dining room, which I think is the majority of everybody in the room, so who's gonna buy in if you haven't eaten our food, right? I mean, if you did, you're taking a chance, but I mean, I know it's good, so I don't think it's that bad. We have 6 dining rooms. We have the Williamsburg, Tea Rose, Nile, Pub, Maui, and Jade. We have 2 private dining rooms. We know that they're not in service right now, but the furniture should be in within the next, I think, month or so, month to 2 months. We did order it in January, but we all know how production's running. But once those private dining rooms get up and running, our palm room, which is located prior to entering the Williamsburg, will seat up to 10. And our garden room, which is the room located in between the Williamsburg and the Tea Rose, that will seat up to 14. Those rooms will be used for private events, birthday parties, anniversaries, bridge groups, any type of celebration you want to have. Those rooms just, they can be booked by you, by family members, and it's a nice added feature to our dining experience, or your dining experience. We are open Monday through Saturday, 12 to 2 for lunch. And on those same days, we are open in the evening from 4:30 to 6:15 for dinner. On Sundays, we are open from 11:30 to 2:30. And that is buffet service, brunch service. Dress code. So you want to see the RAC orientation handbook to see the exact verbiage on the dress code to come to the dining room. But some of the key points to think or to know about the dress code are no shorts at dinner. We are a golfing campus, so you can wear golf shorts at lunch. No men's tees at dinner. And no jeans in the Williamsburg, Tea Rose, or Nile. Now the Pub, Jade, and Maui, you can wear jeans as long as they are not ripped or frayed. When you have family members in, we do ask that you let your family members know of this dress code. When your family members come in, we understand sometimes it's a surprise and they maybe do not have the correct dress code for that evening. We're not gonna hold you out there in front of everybody and point at you and say, you can't come in. We're going to just remind you after service, after the family has left, just to say, hey, next time, let's make sure that everyone's in dress code. But we do understand that it happens. Dining room protocol. So one of the things, yes?
Can you wear shorts in the pub?
You can wear shorts at lunch, not at dinner in the pub. Dining room protocol. So one of the things that we want you to think about, this is your home. If you don't like something, we want to know. If something is not to your satisfaction, ask for a supervisor. make sure you let us know that. By you leaving the dining room unhappy with your meal, or maybe you got something you thought it was gonna taste one way and it didn't, and you just kinda were like, I'm fine. But let us change it, give us the opportunity to fix it. Report an unsatisfactory item immediately, we'll replace it right away. Now, when I say right away, just as you all know, if it's a piece of salmon and say it's dry, I don't wanna eat a piece of dry salmon, and you let us know that, well, we do have to cook that salmon. Salmon's gonna take 7 to 8 minutes to cook. So if that is an issue as far as time, then we can look at maybe getting you something else that we can get out a little bit faster. So those are things that we can do. Communication is the key, because I'm gonna see you more than most directors are gonna see you on a daily basis. My team, every night, you're coming to dinner. Or some of you are coming down 21 nights a month, but a majority of you are gonna see us the most out of you see everyone else. So we have to start building that communication and opening those lines so we feel comfortable that you're gonna let us know and that you're comfortable in us and trust us that we are going to uphold our end of the bargain and get you what you need. For safety, don't walk through the wait station hallways. The wait stations are located on either side of the dining complex. We have one in between the Williamsburg and the Tea Rose, and one in between the Pub and the Maui. Walking through those wait stations is not a safe thing to do. We have servers coming out with trays, we have water pitchers coming in, and the servers are zipping in and zipping out. The floor also could be damp, even though it is a non-slip floor. It is not safe. So we want to make sure that you're using the proper channels to get to the other dining rooms and not through the wait stations. The servers are young. They are impressionable. Most of them, this is their first job, and you hear us a lot. Just like we affectionately call you sweet peas, they are our sweet peas in the dining room. And it does take them a little bit of time to get affiliated with how things work. Some of them catch on very, very well, and you notice that when you're in the dining room. Oh, I have Anna tonight, she's fantastic. Oh, well, Anna is Sonia's daughter, of course she's gonna be great, because Vanessa's great. So she's fantastic. But we may have another server who's just not picking it up as fast as the other. Please let us know after service. If it's something that is, your service is lagging and it's just way too long, let us know during service. We'll take care of it. We're not gonna scold the server in front of everybody. We're just gonna come in and clean it up, let's fix it, let's get you fed, and then we'll have those conversations after. We value your feedback. We want you to provide it. There are many ways that you can provide feedback. A lot of you have smartphones and emails. Email us. When you're emailing, you can email me, Chris, Pamela. You can email all of us on a blast email. You can also send in comment cards. You can stop by our offices. Now, new to the dining room as of last night, the dining room and the grill, our little kiosk, and it is just a little tablet, and it's a 4-minute survey, less than 2-minute survey. It's a 4-question survey, and you can rate us in stars. How was your food tonight? Up to 5 stars. You know, how was your service? How was the ambience in the dining room? How was your overall experience? We don't expect you to write a novel. We just want to know on a daily basis, if we have 200 residents coming to the dining room, we want to know, was it a hit or a miss that night? What did we do, and what can we go back and fix on our end? We aim to please. Have it your way. Our menu items are served to your taste. If you don't want sauce on something, if you're not somebody that likes sauces on things, ask us. If we can do it, we're going to, or we can offer an alternative. Hold the onions? We'll hold the onions. If you need a menu that's special because you can't have onions, we will provide that. Well done, medium rare, just ask us. If you have a new dietary restriction that maybe you're not used to managing because it's something new, come and see me. I'm not a registered dietitian. We do have one on campus, but I can help you with the help of also our health and wellness director, Lisa Frank, to maneuver through the menu so that you can eat within your dietary restriction. We are not governed by any outside agency that we have to have low sodium mechanical diets. So we are just having regular independent food that we We lightly season, just because that's the taste of our community. But there are ways around things, and Chef Chris is always willing to work with you individually and one-on-one on menu selection. It takes a little work on both ends. It's not a one-way street. So once we start to have these conversations, that follow-up is necessary on your end to make sure that we are coming up on our end of the bargain with you, okay? Interim dining pickup and medical clearance. Interim dining pickup is Monday through Saturday from 2:30 to 4, and Sunday 10 to 11, and that's prior to brunch. If you're physically unable to come down to the dining room to pick up a meal, you can call Lisa Frank or Sherry Wobble in Health and Wellness for medical clearance. They will be the individuals that you are talking with to get your medical clearance, so there's no charge for delivery. If you are in a bind and you have a hospital appointment and you just don't feel well and you don't want to come down, you can always call us at the hostess stand. We're always going to deliver you a meal, and then you can talk to Lisa or Sherry afterwards. We're going to put our good measure forward and make sure you get fed, and then we'll deal with the other after. Suggestions, recipes, and comments. So comment cards. How many of you have filled out a comment card since you've been here? Well, that's a good amount of hands, not too many. I was hoping more. We have a few different ways that you can fill out comment cards. One that's not noted up there is right outside of the dining room. We do have a little box right underneath the touchdown TV, and you can actually write a comment card and put it in that box, and we do look at that. But we also have this amazing site, our rackrec.org. How many of you are familiar with our rackrec site? Okay, we got a good show of hands. On that site is a direct link to our dining comment cards, and those come to us via email. As soon as you fill it out, there are a predetermined amount of us in management, and on our Stan Zarinsky's on it as well, who is our Dining Services Committee Chair, and Ron, and we all get that comment. So the good, the bad, the constructive, what you'd like to see, we want to see all of that. So we try to make it as easy as possible. You can also email us directly, and I have provided our email addresses. Obviously, you're not going to write those down, but they're also in the phone book that you have. And if you'd like a copy of this, we can email this over to you, so you can keep it for your files. Menu chat. How many have attended a menu chat? Look at that. I've got a good amount of hands. I'd like to see more. I appreciate those that come and that are they come every week. We have a menu chat following. We do have a menu chat every Wednesday at 1:30 here in the auditorium. It's usually Chris and myself. Sometimes it's a comedy hour. Sometimes it's quick because we have a meeting after. But we want to hear from you. So if you notice on our Week at a Glance menu, you sometimes will see menu items that have 2 asterisks at the end of it. That is a resident suggestion and or recipe. We have been getting recipes for the past 6, 7, 8 months from residents, and it's been fantastic. Those have been some of our highly anticipated items on the menus and sold items week after week. So the more recipes that we get, the more that you're involved with the menu process, the happier everybody is. Because odds are, if you like it, everyone else is going to like it. I mean, some are hit or miss, but it's just the same with our recipes. Sometimes we have to tweak it. If you give us a recipe that's for 6, we have a program where we can stick it in and we can then calculate it out so we can serve 200. So you don't have to worry about doing all the mathematical equations. I did have a couple residents ask me that. And I said, yes, when you figure that out, let me know. No, I'm just kidding. So we already went over recipes, but it has been going over very, very well. Full count. It's a lot of show of hands. I want more interaction. I feel like I'm just up here barking orders here and just reading through this, but do we use full count in here? How many residents are using full count? How many are making reservations on a daily basis? Well, or when you come down to dining, yeah. So we have a few ways to make reservations in the dining room. One of them is full count reservations. We really prefer that you use the portal, but understand sometimes you just can't do that. If you can't make reservations through the portal, we have come up with other ways for you to make reservations. You could call the hostess stand at 813-642-1313. If someone does not answer, and I guarantee someone is not gonna answer probably 75% of the time. There's over 500 residents and one hostess, so they're answering the calls as they come in, but they're also checking the voicemails and putting you down on the list and calling back if there's an in-room dining or a charge that needs to be fixed. Please leave a message if you don't have someone answer the phone right away with your reservation time, party size, and date. Reservations can be called in up to 7 days in advance. In person, this can be done during non-peak dining times with our hostess. And what that means is just basically if there's a line coming in or a line going out and there's some stuff going on at the hostess stand, hostess on the phone and it's very busy, come back at a later time because we do not want to disregard those coming into the dining room to take reservations. But we do have multiple times that are non-peak in the dining room. The busiest times are noon, right when we open, and between 5 and 6 o'clock. So, which one is this? Oh, I'm sorry, that one didn't print up on mine. Oh, so full count reservations. If you would like to get a portal password, name and password, we can provide that to you. When you log in, you just log in with your credentials. You can always email me if you do not have one, and I will email you back a login password or username and a password, and I will also email you the link. So not only can I help you, but so can Pamela and Melly. They can both help you with that process. Booking a private dining room. As I said before, coming soon, we'll have both of our private dining rooms up and running. As soon as that furniture comes in, we're putting it in and we're opening up the reservation book. All of the parties can be booked through Pamela or Melly in the dining room. Melly and Pamela's office is located right outside of the dining complex to the left. And private dining room reservations need to be made at least 2 weeks in advance. It's just for us to prepare to schedule for it. Parties are limited to 14 in the garden room and 10 in the palm room. Wall of Honor. So we celebrate all of our residents that have served in the military on our Wall of Honor on either sides of the dining complex. If you have served in the military, we want to see you on that wall. In order to get your picture on the wall, you just need to take your military uniform photo to the Rock office. They will copy, format, frame, and return the original to you, and then we will have that picture to hang in the dining room. And it's something that's extremely, our residents, all of our residents love to see that, our family members that are coming in, and our associates. Our new servers especially love when they get to serve you at a table and then walk past the wall and say, hey, look, there's Mr. Chambers on the wall. Isn't that great? And that's very interesting to them, and they really find a lot of pride in that. And I've had some of our team members, talk to their parents about it, and their parents who serve in the military, and have also responded saying what a wonderful thing that we do with that. So we want to see you on that wall. So if you have pictures you want to submit, please get those to the Rock office. Plaza Club. How many have been down to the Plaza Club for a meeting or a party or an event? Was it a good time? Yes, we had a good time. I know we did, Mrs. Wellender. We were there together, remember? That was a good time. We're about to have a fantastic event coming up on the 21st, an enchanted evening. It's going to be amazing, and we're partnering with another community, Regency Oaks, so we're really excited about that. Our Plaza Club, and we are one of the only communities in our portfolio, I think the only community in our portfolio that has a banquet center, which is nice. It seats up to 80 comfortably. Sometimes we have parties that want to squeeze in like 90. It's just, we can do it, but it's really warm. Residents can reserve the Plaza Club free of charge. For an outside booking, we charge $350 to reserve the room. For you all, no charge. We have a separate catering menu used for the Plaza Club, and that can be, if you're interested in that, we can get you copies of those. We should have copies at the front desk. I know that we do not right now, but we will have them there. Declining balances from your meal plan cannot be used to book the Plaza Club. This is all a separate catering charge. You can charge it to your ancillary account, or you can pay with credit card or check. when the event is over, if you do not want to put that on your ancillary account. All events at the Plaza Club are subject to our state tax and gratuity. The American Grill. The American Grill right now is open daily with the exception of Saturdays due to staffing. We have a la carte dining in there. So as you come to the dining room, your meal credit, which is $7.50, which is just this arbitrary number, honestly, that we came up with. It's not like real money. It doesn't cost us only $7.50 to put your plate out, but it's just something they made up. And that's how you determine a meal credit. When you use that meal credit and you want to go into the grill, it's a la carte. So maybe you go out to dinner one night and you decide the next day you want a breakfast sandwich, and you might be able to get something else the following day, like a muffin, and you can use those credits or those dollars as you wish. Any extra credit left on your monthly declining budget, use it up in the grill on the following items. You want to make sure you're following your declining balance. If you know that you're not going to be here for like the last 5 days of the month, use it up at the beginning of the month. We have items in there that we've placed that will help use and dwindle down your credits so you don't have to just buy like 50 scones. Because like, I love a scone too, but we've got to eat something that's like healthy, right? Every once in a while. So the rotisserie chickens on Tuesdays, we have those for pre-order. We could do whole pizzas available upon request. A whole pizza is $15. You can use 2 credits on that. Milkshakes, smoothies, you can shop at the general store, look for the black labeled items. All of those items that are black labeled in the general store can decline on your declining balance. So there's a little label, with the dollar amount on it. If it's black, that means it'll decline on your balance. Cooking is not a chore, it's a joy. Dining is not a fuel stop, it's a recreation. Julia Child. Why did I put this up here? 1, because Chef Chris, who is a classically trained chef, Julia Child is his favorite chef. 2, this is not a chore to us. We know that when you moved in here, the one thing right away is, hey, I don't have to cook dinner every day. This is great. So this is a passion. The associates that work, the team members that work in my department, in your department, in your dining department, this is their passion. This is what fuels us. They work pretty long hours, but they're dedicated to the craft. We know that sometimes we're not going to make everybody happy. I mean, every day we're not going to make everyone happy. But for the most part, we do want to hit all levels of service. If we open up our communication lines and have that partnership, this is going to be a great experience for all of us. We want to make you happy. There are so many newer residents that have come in since COVID has started, and you didn't see us at our best when COVID, you saw us, we were pretty great. I'm going to pat myself on the back and say the dining team was great during COVID. And I know none of my team is up here, but I'm blessed to have them, as I think we all are. But as we are just getting back and trying to get back to what we were prior to COVID, the passion is still there. We just have to sometimes step back and look at what we can accomplish. We don't want to overcommit and underproduce to you. We want to make sure that when you're coming down, whatever we can offer, that we can do it every single night. So I want to end this just by saying is that our doors are always open. We're always willing to listen. We might not like what each other has to say, but we're going to try to work through it together, and we're going to provide the best meal that we possibly can. So thank you so much.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Again, my name is Carrie. I'm from Housekeeping, one of the managers here. Martha was not able to be here today. As you all know, she had eye surgery. She's still recovering. She's doing very, very well. Martha wanted to be here today, but I told her no. I thought recovering was a little bit more important. She's part of your family. She's a lot more than just the director here. She's a huge part of this entire community. Being here for 26 years, I know Martha started in housekeeping. She did just about everything here as a housekeeper to a porter, moving up into management. So we miss Martha. Hopefully she'll be back on Monday. So we'll wish her well. Again, I'm manager here. Emmy is over GBT. Emmy could not be here today. She's over at GBT, very, very busy, but she is hoping to slip in here before the day is over. Okay, so we have 16 housekeepers here in this building. We have 3 housekeepers over at GBT, and we have 2 porters. Our porters are Hector and Victor. I don't know if all of you had a chance to meet Hector. He transferred here from Bradenton community, and he's been here a couple months. But the porters do a lot more than just the heavy lifting. They are the ones who are actually doing your deep cleaning alongside the housekeepers. Victor and Hector, they're doing all the setups here at the community. Also over at Plaza West, they assist with all the carpet cleaning, the floor care, removing curtains. They assist with the move-ins, the move-outs. So the porters are very much involved with the residents. Housekeepers, they're doing a wonderful, wonderful job. We have a training system in place that I'm trying to bring in, where I am doing more one-on-one with each individual, trying to come in and help with the inspections in your home. So if there's concerns or issues, I would hope that you would share those with me and Martha and Emmy. Stop by the office, send us an email, phone call. But I do ask that any concerns that you have, try to share those with management staff before you address them with the housekeeper. That way we can put a training session in place to try to correct the issue. Maybe it's just not that housekeeper, it could be more housekeepers that may be following a certain pattern, so we want to correct that if we can. So the housekeeping offices here, our office is over to the left side of the room, the D corridor, 4th floor. And the GBT office is over next to the fitness center where the pool is. Again, that's where Emmy's office is. So if there's anything you need in that area, you can stop by Emmy, give her a call, email, or you can come see us in the office at any time. We're in and out, so sometimes emails work a little better. So the standard housekeeping tasks in the apartment that the ladies do weekly are the hard surface floors, carpet vacuuming, dust mopping, removing the trash, bed linens, making the bed, replacing the towels, bathrooms, of course, the mirrors, clean and sanitize, tub, shower, toilet, floors. The kitchens, we are doing your clean sinks, polishing, countertops, range, stove, drip pan, microwave, and your hood. Any additional services, the baseboard, ceiling fans, specific high dusting. High dusting is done by a different department, and annual cleans for the deep cleanings, that's where we do your baseboards, moving of the furniture, vacuuming the furniture, the blinds. So additional services we can do depending on what you're looking for. Innovative services are the things that assist you with the dusting, the dishes, pet cleanup, closets, cleaning out the fridge. Again, there are some things that we do during that annual clean. So the dusting we do during the annual clean only. But during the week, throughout the months, anything like that would be innovative services. The pet cleanup, that's something I'll address separately. A lot of us have pets, cats, dogs. Sometimes we have accidents. We do assist with that. The carpet cleaning, spot cleaning of your floors. That is something that Victor and Hector do. We have a lot of calls weekly where we have to address those issues, and we don't want that to be left undone. If you step out and you're gone for several days and you have someone watching your animal in your home, there's bound to be accidents. We don't want that to sit. We want to address the issue. So just let us know if you need something like that done. We'll be more than happy to assist with that. So the annual cleanings, so that you all call ahead of time, which is great. We schedule that for you once a year. I have calls and emails every day where I'm scheduling anywhere from 2 to 3 annual cleans a day. Right now, we are booked up through the month of June for this year, already scheduling for July, August, and September. If you don't call ahead of time and the month gets filled up, you may have to wait extra time, but we'll get you in there. The annual cleans are scheduled at the same day and time as your housekeeper. The reason we do that is after Victor and Hector, or whoever it may be, Ivan, after they flip the mattress and move your bed out, the housekeeper comes behind you and they're the ones that actually make the bed. After the gentlemen remove the furniture, they slide it from one end to the other. We vacuum underneath the couches. We want to make sure that everything is put back in place and the housekeeper's there to assist. But again, for the annual cleanings, we do pull out your furniture, we vacuum, replace. We do the ceiling fans, AC vents, blinds, window ledges. Again, we flip your mattress. Some mattresses, of course, if they're not a pillow top, we flip them over.
How about windows?
Windows are part of the annual clean, but if they're the outside windows, we do have, Martha has an outside company scheduled. I believe it's for the month of April. I'll have to get with Civvy on that. The outside of the building is going to be pressure washed, and then the outside of the windows are done. But the insides of the windows, we can assist with that. A lot of the windows, there's a clip where we can pull them down, where Victor or Hector or Ivan can come in and we can clean the outsides of your windows depending on which windows you have. But we do the best we can with getting the outsides done depending on the style of windows you have. First floor windows in the patios, I believe all those pull out, so we're able to clean those. But again, if they're outside, that would be handled by an outside contractor. So the other part of the annual clean in the kitchens, we make sure we pull out your fridge. We want to make sure we get behind your fridge, top of the fridge. Things are spilled, things are dripped down. You know, we want to make sure we get that done. And also washing all your floors underneath, whether it be the furniture, underneath the furniture or underneath the refrigerator. So whether she uses her mop or her Swiffer, she'll get under as far as she can reach. But if there's an area where she should be sticking that under as far as she can reach. But if it's like the middle of a bed or something, then that's part of the annual. But yeah, if it's not, then see me afterward and we'll make sure we get that done. Okay. Yes, we have a floor cleaner, so every week that your housekeeper comes, the vinyl floors would be dust mopped and then mopped with a floor cleaner. Okay. You're welcome. And vacuuming should be happening every week as well. So I know I had one person come and tell me that the housekeeper wasn't vacuuming, and we want to make sure that happens. If something isn't getting done weekly as it should be, we want to make sure we correct it right away. We don't want to let it go on for a long period of time, and then the housekeeper's going to want to know, well, why didn't you tell me that then? So some residents prefer certain things. We have residents that don't want us to do certain things. We have one particular resident that, you know, she's fairly new to the community. She came to the office and she says, don't touch my bed. Don't make my bed, I'll make it myself. I'll wash my towels. Only clean the master bathroom sink, don't clean their other bathroom sink. So we have specific things that specific residents do, and I take note of what those requests are, and I put it in our schedule book. So every single week when that particular housekeeper goes to that apartment, she remembers what to do. And sometimes it can get a little confusing when there's certain requests for us to do one thing and not to do another. Sometimes those housekeepers might take it to the next unit and be a little forgetful, and that's what I'm trying to prevent. So I've got a schedule book in place with special requests for specific units so they know exactly what to do and what not to do. Any more questions? So the common areas that we are responsible for, we clean, we dust, we remove trash. We have a nice long list. Bathrooms, hallways, atrium, fitness center, the art room, the pool, the card room, rental apartments, we go in all the models, the grill, picture frames and the corridors, dining rooms, we vacuum daily. I've got a new schedule and process for the young lady who cleans the atrium and dining room areas. We're trying to make improvements on what we clean and how we clean. I've got a schedule in place for the carpets to be shampooed in all the dining rooms. All the chairs are starting to be wiped underneath the tables, window ledges. So all the chairs, the carpets, window ledges, drapes are going to be vacuumed. So I've got a new system in place that we've started this past week. So there's a little bit of a catch up we need to do. But if you all know Christy, it's when you see her in the dining room, just let her know that improvements are taking places, and we see the recognition and we want to recognize that. City has moved forward and we've gotten a lot of the trim repainted, the walls repainted in the dining room, so that started last week. We've got a little bit more to do, but eventually we'll get to where we need to be, and the keep up will be a lot easier. We also clean the hair salon on the second floor, the wood shop, the library, the auditorium of course, and the stairwells. We've got some catch up there to do. We've got vacuuming that needs to get done, shampooing spots in certain areas of the carpets. We have Jim, who works 3 days a week between different areas of the property. He's absolutely wonderful. He's assisted with a lot of projects here, and he is the individual that we are going to try to utilize moving forward with projects in the stairwells. Victor and Hector are really, really busy during the day, especially with setups and removing the trash of the buildings, cleaning the refuse rooms. So we're going to try to utilize Jim as much as we can for projects outside of that work area. Yes.
At the entrance to your home, what are the restrictions for what you can do there? Which means you hang something on the wall, you put up a little shelf. What are the restrictions in that area? Does anybody know?
Outside, I think maybe address that to Sibby. I'm not sure what their restrictions are.
I'll take it.
Okay.
So if it's the little entryway to your specific apartment, we don't really have restrictions. I think what my guidance would be whatever within reason. We don't want to install like more electrical, or if you're going to do some crazy light show. But if whatever you want to put in your entryway is up to you. So if you need help from maintenance to hang a shelf or put up a picture or something, that's absolutely permitted.
Housekeeping. The question is who is responsible for the carpet in the hallways? So housekeeping is responsible for the carpet in the hallways. If the carpet is dirty, we need to vacuum it. If it needs to be cleaned, we need to shampoo it. The carpeting outside your front door, the housekeeper should be vacuuming that each and every time she comes. So if that is not getting done, if there's additional issues, then we need to know about those. Yes, ma'am. It's okay. Okay, so the question was, is there's debris in the hallway, and who does she contact to take care of that? It would be housekeeping. So the debris in the hallway, depending on where it's at, we have a lot of homes being renovated, and maintenance and CDS and housekeeping, we're up and down those halls so much. Sometimes they leave a little debris behind from carts or ladders or shoes, and that's gonna happen. But that's why we're all here, to make sure it gets picked up, cleaned up, and washed up. So we want to make sure that happens right away. If it gets left behind for a couple of days, that should not happen. But again, let me know where it's at, and we'll make sure we get that taken care of. So other housekeeping duties, yes, ma'am. Are there filters for the air conditioning? Yes, that's handled by maintenance. Mhm. Yeah, so maintenance has a schedule where they come through the homes and replace the air filters. If there's any issues or concerns with your actual air filter in your AC, you want to address that with Civi or Lavinia, and they can help you with that. Yes, ma'am. Now, if there's dust up in the vents, we can address that with with the wands of our vacuums. We have little brushes that we can put on the wand of our vacuum and we can stick it up there. I actually did that for one resident, and the brushes kind of get up into the vents and we can remove some of that dust. So that's something that we can assist with also. That doesn't have to be part of the annual. We can see the dust, we can remove the dust, especially in the AC vent. Okay? All right. So the other housekeeping responsibilities that we have, the trash rooms, we have daily pickup. I have a schedule in place where the trash room floors are swept and mopped 3 days a week. We set up, we clean up after events like this. We want to make sure the carpets get vacuumed, the trash is removed. Victor and Hector do a very, very good job. Victor does it more than Hector, but Victor is right on cue every single time we need him. All the doggy stations around property, we're assisting maintenance with emptying the doggy stations. We're working together. So if there's any doggy stations that you see are full or the bags are need to be replaced, please let Martha and I or Emmy know. We do have the bags in our office. Hector is the one who does the daily trash. So every day he has the key and he's supposed to be checking them every day. And he also works on Saturdays to make sure it's taken care of on the weekend as well. The annual window cleaning, again, that's the outside service. I believe they're scheduled for the month of April. I can confirm that with Civi. And then once that gets done, of course, once a year, and then moving forward, again, we will continue to assist with cleaning the windows on the insides. So the boxes for move-ins. So a lot of the times, depending on the moving company that's coming in, they remove their own boxes. But if not, that's what we're there for. We'll break down the boxes and we'll take them out to the recycle container. For making the beds up on move-in day, usually I or Martha or housekeeper will come and we'll introduce ourselves as housekeeping. We'll offer to make your bed. I know there's a young lady, her name is Amy. She does a lot of the move-ins and she usually takes care of the beds, but we're always there to assist with that if need be. Usually when a new resident moves in, I like to give them at least a week to get unpacked, get situated, feel comfortable. I always make jokes about not bugging you or harassing you, want to make sure that we get you on the cleaning schedule. I have one resident who she moved in a couple months back and she still does not want to be on the cleaning schedule. We just deliver linens, that's all we do. But that's your choice, it's what you want. That's why we're here to give you what you need and what you want. The vacated apartments, each housekeeper is responsible for checking empty homes on their floor. Each housekeeper has a floor that they're assigned to. So, for example, we have wonderful Mary who does the 6th floor BC wing. So once a week, she'll go into all her empty homes and she'll make sure that the floors are clean. She'll check the toilets, make sure they remain clean, flush them. Any issues, we report to maintenance. So that way, moving forward, if we have anyone from the outside or if you're looking to move into a different area of the property, the homes are ready and ready to be seen and everything is presentable. Vacated apartments, what we also do is when you move out, we'll go in after maintenance has gone in and we actually shampoo the carpets on a move out. We clean the floors, clean the kitchen, wipe the insides of the cabinets and the cupboards down. Again, we want to get it ready. Even though a lot of the homes are going to be renovated, we still want to get the homes ready for show, and that's the most important. Operating the community laundry. So our laundry is located on the 1st floor of the B wing, just across from the elevators. We have a wonderful young lady by the name of Jackie who's doing a wonderful job. She is the one who is washing everything. Sheets, towels, blankets, if you need anything especially washed, all the personals, your own sheets, your own comforters, getting things ready for the pool, the beauty salon. So she's very, very busy. If there's anything you need, I would really like it if you could give me an email or a call, or Martha. A lot of times we've had residents go into laundry, and it's an area where you could possibly be hurt. We have 4 carts that are in different areas of the laundry sometimes, and they're full of linens, whether it be dirty or clean. You don't know what's clean and you don't know what's dirty. The last thing I want is for you to reach in and grab something that's dirty and soiled and think that you're going to use that in your home. Please let us know if you need something. It's not a safe environment for you to walk in. We have 2 to 3 employees in there sometimes if we get really busy and it's a small area. So wanting something, that's fine. If you just open the door and let us know what you need, we can hand it to you, but please don't come in and try to reach from the different cabinets that we have. Sometimes you need a stepladder to get up and reach things, and again, we just don't want anyone to get hurt, okay? No. Is there an extra charge for us to wash your sheets? The answer is no. We have a lot of specials. A lot of residents, they might only have 2 sets of sheets, and they want to use those. So what we do is we have 1 set in laundry, and we have like a little cubby with your room number on it, and of course the other set is on your bed. So every week that housekeeper knows she's had to come to laundry and get your linen to swap it out. Some residents, we wash their sheets, but they use our towels. So when the housekeeper removes the sheets from the bed, they have labels, and they're to put your sheets in a bag with that label in the bag. So for example, this morning, I had someone assist with picking up, because Jackie's not here, and when she brought the big blue bin down that we pick up laundry, it had 3 bags, and each bag was labeled the resident's name, the resident's room number, and it says special. So we don't open that bag. That bag is washed separately by itself. We do not wash that stuff with anything else.
We're gonna be gone like for 4 months this summer. Do they still come in once a week to clean the place, or just periodic?
As your request, we will do that. So he's going to be, the gentleman's going to be gone about 4 months, and wants to know if we're still going to come in periodically or weekly. We will come in as you request us to come in. If you're not there, what the housekeeper will do, if we have right to enter, she will come in and check your toilets, flush them. But other than that, once your sheets are made, once your bed is made, we won't touch anything else. Now, we have a lot of residents that we wash their sheets. Yes, we have 2 small regular washers, like the kind you have in your home. We have those 2 washers in laundry, and we utilize those washers for personals. And when I say personals, I mean private sheets. Some people just send down their pillowcases and towels to be washed. A lot of residents use their own things, and they don't have a washer and dryer, and some residents aren't able to get themselves to the public washer and dryer in the halls, so they need assistance with that. You're welcome. Yes. Email me or Martha, and we'll pick it up. What we'll do is we'll bring a large bag up. We'll put it in the bag to transport it to laundry, and then once it's done, it'll be labeled with your name and your home number on it, and then we'll deliver it. I do not ever promise a 24-hour turnaround. We need at least 48 hours to do a request like that, not knowing what's going on in laundry. We also wash things from the beauty salon, and there's a lot going on, so. So the housekeeping emergencies. So we handle all spills anywhere on property. Accidents requiring cleanup. Those accidents could be from an animal. They could be from one of us. But any accident that takes place, we're here to help, whether it be to wipe and disinfect or disinfect and shampoo, whatever that accident may be. Stain removal. Victor and Hector are excellent at removing stains. Again, the stains could be anywhere. It could be here in the auditorium, it could be hallways, it could be your homes, stairwells. I have a couple stairwells that I'm going to send Jim to get some spots and stains out. Hopefully we can get them removed. Any assistance you need for cleaning, again, email Martha or I. You can also email Emmy, depending on where you are. But we want to get those issues resolved within the next 24 hours of your phone call. I try to respond within a couple hours of your phone call to at least schedule an appointment. So again, just let us know. Special requests, we've got rollaway beds, carpet cleaning, and of course extra towels and sheets if you have anyone visiting or you just need some extras. But our rollaway beds, those are $15 each night to rent. And the carpet cleaning, there's a charge for that. The carpet cleaning is $47 an hour, or it's $23.50 for 30 minutes. The cots, I call cots rollaways. If you or your family or friends or relatives are coming in to rent a guest room, there are two guest rooms, 401 and 428. Just so you know, a rollaway will not fit in those two guest rooms. Those two guest rooms are very small, and it's got a queen size bed. You can get a small table next to the window if you request an additional table. But 401 and 428 guest rooms, you cannot put a cot in there. If you have any family coming into town and they need a guest room to utilize a cot, there's 212, or you want to get with marketing to find out, how you can get an additional room.
How much for the cost for a guest room?
The guest room cost, I'm not sure about the guest room cost.
Jeff's going to do an encore presentation here when Carrie's done, so he can speak to the charges for the guest rooms.
So weekends and after hours. So on the weekends, our staff are very, very minimal. So we have one porter. Right now we have Hector on Saturdays, and on Sundays we have it's either going to be Victor, or it's going to be Ivan, or it's going to be Jim. On Sundays the guys rotate, so every Sunday it's different. And we also have one housekeeper on the weekend. That one housekeeper is responsible for laundry, making sure the guest rooms get cleaned if there's a checkout. She's responsible for the bathrooms in the atrium, vacuuming the atrium if there's any issues, all the bathrooms on every single floor, making sure the beauty salon is cleaned before we reopen on Monday, checking the towels on the pool. So that one person on the weekends, she's real busy. If you need any assistance, if you have any special events going on the weekend and you know about it in advance, please let Martha or I or Emmy know so we can make sure we get you the help you need or the assistance you need. It's very difficult for that one housekeeper to get a surprise notification that she needs to get something done, okay? You want to call the front desk after hours if you have any issues or concerns. And the front desk can direct you to what area you need to get your assistance from, okay? So communicating with housekeeping. So there's 3 ways to communicate with housekeeping. You can submit a work order through the rack rep. You can call the housekeeping phone and you can leave a message. Or you can send an email. My email is not up here. My email, I don't know if you all know my last name, it's Radcliffe. But you can certainly email me, or you can stop by the office, give me a call. My extension is 1220. You can give me a call or email me at any time. I'm in and out of the office a lot, so I really try to respond to emails and phone calls within 1 to 2 hours that you leave the message. And if I don't, please let me know. So to the housekeeping for the rackrep.org. So I don't know how many of you have been able to go online and actually put in a work order for housekeeping? Do we all know how to do that? Okay. So if you aren't good with a computer or you don't have a computer, it's okay. We're here to help. The front desk, stop by the office. A lot of people, they go to Lavinia's office or City's office not knowing where to go, but they'll direct you to us, or if they can help you, they will. Filling out the form, it can be easy for some, and it can be difficult for others. But that's pretty much what it looks like when you go online to the rackrep.com and you click on housekeeping. That's the form that's going to come up. It's going to ask you to fill out your name, your unit number, your phone, location. It's pretty much just filling in the blanks before you hit submit. But again, some of us are not as good with computers, and that's okay. But whatever help you need, we're here to help with whatever you need. Okay? So I thank you all for listening. I hope you all have a wonderful day and enjoy this beautiful lunch that they have coming up soon. And if you have any questions afterward, just don't hesitate to let me know. Yes?
We owe Carrie a big vote of thanks, because not only did she fill in for Martha and do a beautiful job, but we had to run and hijack her because she wasn't due to be on until after lunch, but we were ahead of schedule, and dining services serves no lunch before its time. So, and with what she was saying about the laundry, the terrific person we have who really works the laundry isn't here today, and so guess who's filling in the laundry along with everything else, and Martha being out? It's Carrie. So she had to do this plus all the extra things, and you can tell from her attitude that she's up to the job. So thank you, Carrie. And now you can just go and attack all those things, and thank you again. You saw the technical difficulties we had when we started. Unfortunately, some of Jeff's slides were corrupted and did not show up, but we now have them, I believe. Are we ready to show? All right, I got a big thumbs up from back there. So Jeff is going to come up and talk about some of those things that he was going to talk about until we did it to him. So come on, Jeff.
I feel so privileged to be back up here again. So I think this is what you missed out on last time, was my face. All right, we can keep scrolling. We saw Vanessa, keep going. Okay. Keep going. Yes, sir. Okay, keep going. Okay, stop here. So these are some of the forms that we use in transportation and security. The first one is the Freedom Plaza, the off-campus form, and this is the form that we use if you are leaving and for an extended period of time. It's just to let us know that you're off campus and we are aware of that. And also it goes in conjunction with the other form for the access of your apartment. So we know who is allowed to come into your apartment and who's not. If you want maintenance or if you want housekeeping in your apartment. We can go to the next slide. The second slide is the next form is for transportation. And this is how you schedule your appointments if you have a medical appointment or if you need to go to the bank or whatever the case may be. You don't have to necessarily come down to the transportation office. You can call by phone as long as you have all your information available, and Ken or Gina, they will take all your information for your upcoming appointment. There is no set, well, we would like to have that done within 24 to 48 hours, okay? This gives us enough time to coordinate the schedule. If you ever go down to transportation, sitting there for a couple minutes and you see what's going on. The phone constantly rings off the hook all day. Residents are constantly calling to schedule appointments, and sometimes it might not be within that 24 to 48 hours, right? And it causes a ripple effect. The night before, for the next day, they come out with the transportation schedule. And sometimes they come in the morning and there's like 10 to 11 calls on the phone, on voice message, saying, I need a ride today. The schedule is done around 4 o'clock the day before. So if we have all these add-ons, sometimes we're just not able to accommodate them. So that's why we require 24 to 48 hours in advance. And I know from personal experience, like my own medical appointments myself, I get a month in advance. So it doesn't matter if it's 6 months in advance, it doesn't matter if it's a year in advance. The further notice you guys give us, the easier it is for them to coordinate the appointments for that upcoming day, right? And we keep everything on file. If you call us and say you have a medical appointment like 6 months from now, we'll take that reservation, we'll put it on file, and we're added to that schedule that day of, okay? So there's some basic information that goes on there, your name, your apartment number, your phone number, the actual doctor's office, and we'll determine how far it is based off a chart that we have. And like I said before, if it's a local drop-off or a doctor's appointment, there's no fee associated with that. If it's outside our radius, then there's a fee associated with that. Also, what's hard to coordinate is a lot of out-of-town appointments. So some are in Bradenton, some doctor's appointments are in Sarasota, Wesley Chapel, and those are outside of our radius. So the reason we require 24 to 48 hours too is that if I am taking you to Sarasota for your doctor's appointment, the driver actually has to stay down there with you, right? For the entire time that your appointment is scheduled. So that way he can't come back and then go back down there to Sarasota. It's just not productive to do that. So the driver stays down there with you with your appointment if it's out of town and it's a certain distance. So they're down there to bring you back. So if we have a lot of out of town appointments on a certain day, that's a lot of drivers taken out of the mix. Because the way it actually works is that the driver takes you somewhere, and if it's a local drop-off, they'll drop you off, they'll come back to campus, and for the dispatch, we'll give them a call. You know, they all have cell phones. They'll give them a call and let them know, hey, you need to go pick up so-and-so as a local pickup. So they'll go pick that person up, and the way they coordinate it is pretty amazing, how they are able to coordinate all the drop-offs and the pickups. So it kind of takes the driver that's doing the out-of-town medical appointments, kind of takes him out of the equation for doing pickups. So it kind of limits us on how many people we have available at that particular time to do pickups. Sometimes I hop in the car myself, a vehicle myself, if we have one available, and I'll go pick residents up or drop them off myself. But you know, we only have so many drivers and so many vehicles to go around. And this is why I can't impress upon enough that we need you to give us a fair amount of time to schedule your appointment, because we hate turning people away, especially if they have a medical appointment, because we know your medical appointments are very important. So we just need everybody to take it upon themselves and, to schedule in a reasonable amount of time for us. And we would be greatly appreciated. Yes, sir.
Is airport transportation available on 24 hours?
Yes. If you let us know, is airport transportation available on a 24-hour basis? Yes, we can accommodate that. Any other? Yes, ma'am. That's in Tampa. They'll just drop you off. Now, if it's a local drop off and it's only like 15, 20 minutes, they'll just wait there with you and bring you back. But if you're going to be up there for like an hour or so, they'll drop you off, because chances are we have another driver in that area that might be dropping someone else off, and they'll just stop by there and pick you up. Also, patience is a virtue, because a lot of times, if you're waiting to be picked up, your appointment is done, we might not have anybody in that area at that particular time to pick you up. So it might take a little bit longer than expected, but trust and believe, we're going to come pick you up. We're not going to leave you stranded anywhere, okay?
What airports do you go to?
Excuse me?
What airports? Tampa and Sarasota?
Tampa International.
You don't go to Sarasota?
Not to my knowledge, I don't think so. But I think that's probably doable though, since we take people to medical appointments to Sarasota. We probably can do drop-offs there at the airport as well, and the St. Pete airport as well. Yes, ma'am. Transportation is open Monday through Friday. We do have an on-call driver that comes in on the weekend for emergencies, right? If there's a resident that's in the hospital and they are being discharged, the on-call driver will be notified, and the on-call driver will come in and pick that resident up from the hospital and bring them back here. But not for airport pickups and stuff like that. We don't operate on the weekend, only Monday through Friday. You're welcome. Any more questions? Also, while I'm up here as well, I'll go over it real quick. We came out with the Freedom Plaza parking policy. How many of you all come to town hall? I think we talked about it a couple times in town hall, but that information is out there for you all to view. I think it's on rec.org. The Freedom Plaza parking policy, and it's specific to here at Freedom Plaza and also GVT. So I'll just reiterate a couple of things in regards to that. GVT parking, if you own a golf cart, and I've gotten this question, has come up over the last couple of days. If you have a golf cart, I would strongly suggest, and if you're a GVT, I would strongly suggest that you park that golf cart inside your garage, okay? We recently had a theft of a GVT. Someone's golf cart was stolen. And we tried to figure out, how it happened. We have security cameras at the GVT, but we really didn't see a lot of things. So when the police came, we could only give them so much information, and it sucks having your golf cart stolen. But those things need to be secured at the end of the night, and that's why we require that you park that stuff, those items inside your garage. Also your vehicle as well, because if you're not parking your vehicle, if you see the way GVT is constructed, if you're not parking your vehicle or your golf cart inside your garage, sometimes it makes it rather difficult for someone else to back out of their garage and get through the little driveway area. Also in the front, if you park your vehicle there, just gonna run in for a second, that's fine, but if you can't park your vehicle in front of the little circle area in front of the door, okay? If we have emergency services that needs to come in, or if we have the postal guy or delivery service person, they can't even get to that little area in front of the door because someone's parked there. So we just ask you that you respect that part of the policy and follow that. Also down here, also down here, Freedom. If you're parking your vehicle, you're coming from GVT, you're parking your vehicle here. We have the resident 1 hour parking. We have the 15-minute delivery services parking out here in the circle. Also the golf cart parking for your convenience if you're bringing a golf cart down. We try to limit the amount of service vehicles. We have specific parking for service vehicles, for your Instacart, your Publix delivery, your Walmart grocery delivery services. We dedicated 2 spots up front over by marketing where they park at. Also on the sides by building, by door 2 and door 5, we have the service bump out parking, so the front won't be congested. When you come down sometimes, and even for the Freedom Plaza residents, you see that it's a nightmare out here in the circle. There's a lot of things going on. Yes, sir?
Handicap parking out front, what's the time limit on that?
Okay, the question was handicap parking, and is there a time limit on that? We currently don't have a time limit on that, but we will actually that you be respectful of those handicap parking spots, because there's only 3 out there and they're used most of the time. I would say don't park there overnight or for an excessive amount of time. It's pretty much in conjunction with like what we have set up for the resident 1-hour parking. It's just a convenient location for you to park your vehicle close to the building, you come in for a short period of time and then leave. But you know, we have had problems where residents park their vehicles there all day and overnight in the handicap parking. And we try to discourage from that from happening. And we'll give you a friendly reminder. We do currently have everybody's that drives a vehicle here registered in our system, so we are able to look their license plates up, give them a friendly reminder and say, hey, you know, you need to move your vehicle, you've been parked here too long. But to answer your question, we don't have a set time limit, but you know, it is what it is. But we don't want you parked there all day or all night. So those spots are open for people who come in who actually need it as well. Yes, sir.
What are the warning procedures for parking in a wrong spot? You come along and put a sticker on and call the individual and what that?
Okay, the question is what do we do if someone's parked someplace that they're not supposed to be, pretty much. We will give you a complimentary call. As I just said, we have everybody's vehicle information on file. We'll look it up. We don't necessarily put a sticker on the vehicle, right? There's a process, and we talked about it, I think, the last town hall meeting. There's a process that we go through. If we see you parked somewhere you're not supposed to be, we'll give you a complimentary call. Say, hey, can you come down and move your vehicle, please? If it happens a second time, we'll put a sticker, and the stickers are way better than what I used to use. They're easily peelable as a reminder that you're parked somewhere that you're not. And third time, we do have a boot that we use that I've never had to use yet. But I don't want it to resort to that. I just hope that everybody will do the right thing if you're parking where you're not supposed to be parked at. Okay, the question was, do you all need to register your vehicles with us? Yes. You're assigned parking in the covered area. Are you GBT or here? Okay, yes. So you should have filled out a parking registration form at the front desk with your vehicle information. And you were assigned a covered spot, right? Okay, yeah, so you should have filled out a vehicle registration form. That way we have all your information on file and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, just to be safe and sorry, if you want to stop at the front desk just to see if we have you in the system. And also for the vehicle parking, Renee Lyles over at marketing, she's responsible for the vehicle assignments, the covered parking assignments. And we at the front desk, we take care of the golf cart parking assignment. Yes, sir.
On the warning, will that go away after a period of time?
No, sir. The question was, will the warning go away after a certain period of time? No, I mean, we just want to, we just want to have a little bit of, structure set up when it comes to parking. Because if not, things will get chaotic and people will start parking anywhere. And I think over the last several months, I think people can appreciate when they come down and they're just here for a short period of time, that the resident 1-hour parking is open, or that they can pull into a spot for 15 minutes and unload their groceries and not have to worry about visitors or guests or employees parking in their parking spots. Is that it? All right, appreciate it, thank you.
Welcome back, everybody. I know you enjoyed a good lunch. That was definitely well prepared by the dining team. Thank you very much for that. First, I just want to apologize. My voice is just a little raspy, but it should be okay. I'm sure it should still be understandable. But just to introduce everyone to our plant operations or maintenance team and the maintenance department. Many of you have already spoken with you on a number of items on your move-in and maintenance requests as we've gone through the process. But this will give you a little bit idea about, number one, our team, how many members we have, kind of what we cover, how you guys can put in work order requests, and really there's so many finite details that go along with that, but this is just a good overview about what's covered under maintenance. So if we go to the next slide, the campus is a pretty robust campus. We're spread out over 140 acres. The independent living, this main plaza building, we have 7 stories, 7 floors that are covered. We also have the 6 Gulfview Terrace buildings, 84 apartments over there, our Plaza West Healthcare Center, and then assisted living and memory care. Many of you, if you've seen over there, it's actually across the street. There's 2 separate buildings there, a 3-story and a 2-story building. And that little picturette is something the sales department actually put together for some of our tours and open houses. So it shows you an overview of the campus, where everything's located at. But we're spread out, over a wide area. And then also the Plaza Club and golf course, 18-hole executive golf course. We'll get into a little more detail as far as maintenance coverage for that. Now, when you think about the campus as a whole, how big is our maintenance team that covers that? And that's what we're going to cover here. There's 15 team members, myself included, in that covers the entire campus. Go to the next slide and we'll get into a little bit more of the team members. Myself, Sibi Thadathil, I've been here about 9 years now on the campus. And then we have Joe Hardesty. He's been with us for about 3 years. I'm the maintenance director for the full campus, and then Joe helps us as maintenance director for the Plaza West Healthcare Center and also assisted living and memory care. And then many of you know Lavinia Carpe. She's been here 9 years. She's our plant assistant. Her job description is very lengthy. She takes all the work order requests, many of your concerns and questions that you may have. She's very attentive to those needs. She's been here in those 9 years, not only in maintenance, but also in other departments, working very closely with the residents, helping them out on a daily basis. But she, as well as the 3 of us, are very attentive to the needs of our everyday buildings, the needs that you guys may have, and she's very good about communicating that to us as well. But then going on into the techs, if we go to the next slide there, those are all our techs right now that we have. The top, you'll see the main plaza, we're broken down into different sections. First floor, and then behind the scenes, we have a tech, Rigo, that covers that. Floors 2 through 4, we have a separate technician. Floors 5 through 7, and the list continues on. One thing I just would like you to notice, in the parentheses, there's a number there. Those are the years of service or the tenure of these individuals. And that's really commendable, for the campus as a whole, the residents, and really the team. The maintenance team is strong in the sense that they've all been here, they've worked together all those number of years. So they know a lot of the ins and outs, where some of the water valves are at, some of the electrical lines that you wouldn't even know it, they're not even on the plans, but these guys know it. And they work very well together. We've had some changes, with staffing, as we always do. Actually, right now we have a couple open positions that we should have filled here in the next coming weeks, I'd say. But as a team, these guys, I depend on them quite a bit, and they're very responsive to your needs. They're very attentive to those needs, and they know how to take care of a multitude of different things. They're not just, some are just, like the AC tech, Carlos, That's his main specialty. But Carlos is very good at a little bit of everything. Mauro has been here a number of years as well. We call him the mad scientist. Apologize for that. Because he can fix anything and everything. Doesn't matter if he's got the right parts, the wrong parts. He will find a solution for it, make it work until we can get it properly fixed. And a lot of times with maintenance, that's what we have to do. Now, it's not that we want to put Band-Aids on everything, but we have to really keep this place together. I mean, we are about a 30-year-old campus, so things are starting to fall apart on a daily basis, but with the help of these guys and the team effort, we're able to do that. So I'm really appreciative for everything that they do on a daily basis. And you as well, I know many of you have commented on how attentive they are and good with follow through. So I appreciate that from you guys as well. Moving on to the next slide, just talk about the locations of our offices. My office in Lavinia, we're here in the third floor administrative section of this building. Joe Hardesty, he actually has two offices. The main one he's at is over at the Homewood location, that 3-story building on Galen Court. And then he's also over at Plaza West because he kind of floats between those two buildings. But Lavinia's office, many of you are aware, you've come there already, you visited her. My office is right next to her. Door's always open. I may or may not be sitting in that chair. A lot of times I'm running around. But if you need to leave a note there, leave a note, or you can get with Lavinia and she'll always let me know who stopped by and what needs to happen. And we try to respond as quickly as we can. Sometimes if I'm not at the desk, I may get the voice message a day later, but I will try to make an effort to get back to you guys. Moving on to the next slide. It's broke. Now what? And a lot of times it's not something of your doing. You know, it's, as we mentioned, this is a 30-year-old building. A lot of the apartments have been renovated, but still some of the plumbing is original. CPVC, some of the electrical, the breakers, all that's original. We don't expect you guys to get in there and fix it. I know many of the husbands that are here, they're very handy and they're able to take care of these repairs. We don't ask you to do it. We don't expect you to do that. If you can do it, that's okay, that's good. But call us, reach out, and we will come and take care of it for you. Go on to the next slide and you'll see the different ways that you can report a work order request. As we mentioned, the third floor administrative area is where Lavinia's office is located at. You're always welcome to come by, stop, leave her a note, let her know what the issue is, and then she'll put that work order in. You can call the work order desk, which goes straight to Lavinia, or you can email her as well. And all those ways, she gets it, she enters it into what we call a TELS work order program. And as she puts that work order in, she'll put the date, the location, the individual that requested it, and then also the type of request that is it, that it is. It may be an AC that went down, so that's a high priority. It may be something you may just need some help putting a battery in a clock. That may fall down on the priority list. So she'll label it as high, medium, or low, and then sends it out to the guys. Each one of the guys, they have a tablet or they have their smartphone, and they have an app on there which is TELS, and that populates all those work orders for them. So that's how they get the work orders, and then they prioritize it and then set their day accordingly. The last item, another way for you guys to report a work order request is through the RAC portal. And that's something that has been very effective and very useful. Just like in housekeeping, they've got a tab that you can click on and then fill out the section. We do as well. And it's very straightforward. When you click on that, you come to a form that you fill out. And once you hit submit, it'll go to Lavinia. I get a copy as well. And then she can approve it. She can add some comments to it or communicate back and forth with you a little bit. Like if there's a certain time that you want the people to come to or don't want them to come. And that way we've got some communication back and forth. And then as soon as she hits approve, you'll get an email that it was received, acknowledged, and the work order is in motion. So those are all 4 main ways that you could put those work order requests in. And I ask that you try to stick to one of those ways versus the maintenance guys. You'll see them in the hallway, and I know it's it's human nature. You want to stop and tell them, oh, hey, my light bulb's out, or my toilet's an issue with the toilet. And they may come and fix that right away, or they may be on their way to another repair that's more important. And in doing so, they may, because they're human, forget to add that work order in or let Lavinia know. So then, unfortunately, that may get dropped. So we don't want that to happen. So we ask that you try to use one of those processes already in place, and that way we can be a little bit more efficient with that. That doesn't mean you can't talk to them and tell them, but if it's something that needs to get done, please tell them and let them know. That way we can see to it. Next slide. Kind of what we've touched on already. What can you report? And that question's come up, but really the list is longer than what you see on this slide. Water leaks, electrical issues, AC not working, not heating or cooling, anything like that, report it to us. Even if it's not in your apartment. You may be walking down the hallway and you see something with the carpets lifting up, or there's a big gouge in the wall, or an outlet faceplate pulled off. Put that in a work order request to Lavinia. We'll take care of it. So your work order request is not just limited to your apartment. There is another tool that we use, and we can get into a little more detail at another time, but if you see anything around campus that needs to be addressed, feel free to let Lavinia, the work order system, know. Put it in the RAC portal, and then we will address that. With most items, there's no charge. If there's something extra, like kind of above and beyond that you guys are requesting, there may be a charge associated with that. And we'll address that at that situation, because it's different per case by case. It's not going to be anything substantial, but if it's something that requires extra material, there may be just a cost associated with that material. But as we say in the bottom, if you're in doubt, just please reach out, we can communicate. And as you saw with the team of guys here, they all do a little bit of everything. So we can juggle just about all that. Yes, ma'am. So maybe just a wall-mounted TV. Say you've always had a TV. Yeah, if it's something personal, like an extra item that you want special in your apartment, then there'd be a charge with, say, if we got to purchase the wall mount. Now, if you purchase the wall mount, we put it up, it's no big deal. So, like I said, it's not like we're going to charge you an arm and leg, big labor charge and all that. But it's just to cover the cost of material, and especially right now, with material and all items across the board going up, we have to accommodate and work for that. Go on to the next slide. Sorry about that. This radio, believe it or not, this radio communicates from here. I don't know if you're familiar with this area, but all the way to Big Bend and 301. That's how far it reaches, because I've left it on accident. I can still hear what's going on. But we communicate from here all the way to Homewood and Clarebridge with use of the radio. Sometimes you guys hear a lot of communication back and forth, and it's the quickest and fastest way to get a hold of somebody if you need them. These are two other support teams, if you will. We have our maintenance technicians that handle everything on campus, in your apartments and in the day-to-day routine. But we also have our grounds, our 140 acres we talked about, and our golf course. We specifically don't handle all that maintenance, but we've got a landscape crew that's housed here on campus, which is CNS Landscaping. Their team of 9, including the owner, they maintain the acreage around all the buildings, all the beds, all the grass, all the trees, even a lot of the ancillary areas that we don't even see or you may not even know about. There's a nature trail that goes around the campus as well. And they maintain keeping the shrubs off of the trail so that it can be used. Now, it is a nature trail, so there are roots, there's dirt. We don't go too much into detail with that. But their team, they're a big aid and a big support for us. And as much as they do on a daily basis, there's always more for them to do. There's always going to be something that was missed. There was going to be something that, just wasn't caught, and they're good about coming back and being attentive to those needs. So they work really, me and Chris as the owner, we communicate daily, every weekly, there's always something that needs to be addressed and attended to. They also do some other items around campus that's not really landscape related. For example, out there in the golf cart area, right now our fencing's being completed. There's about 90 storage units that need to get built. They've already constructed and built about 50 of those. And they also do some asphalt patching here and there. So some minor stuff that need to get done, I can reach out to them and they'll take care of that for us. So that's another support team of 9 in addition to the 15 maintenance techs that we have. And then of course, many of you have seen CDS contractors. They handle primarily our apartment renovations. Before you moved in, your apartment, needed to get, it's called a unit turnover, but it needed to be renovated, new flooring, whether it's carpet or laminate, new granite, new cabinets. They're the contractors that handle all that. They also do some extra projects around campus for us. Once you moved in, maybe you want a different type of shower. We didn't change your shower from a fiberglass unit to a tile shower. Well, now you want a tile shower, so we'll reach out to them and then they'll take that project on and do that as well. Carrie had mentioned in the dining rooms that we're doing some painting. That painting was actually done at night by CDS. They painted the baseboards, all the trim work, and the wall below the chair rail going down the hallways. Had to do it at night because of the amount of traffic between staff and residents during the daytime. So they help us out with that as well. And they have about 12, and that number varies. And these are just really just a sampling of contractors. Them two really, they do a majority of the work on a daily, weekly basis. We've got HVAC contractors, plumbing contractors, electrical contractors, excavation, as you can see, that's being done out front. And those crews vary, but they handle some of the bigger projects that we have going on. In about 2 weeks, we're going to be changing out 2 air handlers in this auditorium. The air handlers are actually located above the ceiling. We're going to be taking it, putting it up on the roof to rooftop units. So that's going to be handled by a roofing contractor and our HVAC contractor. So we've got a lot of support here at Freedom Plaza. You have a question? Yes?
Yeah. Is there a charge to play golf on the course?
There is a membership charge, I know, but I know that it is discounted as well with your entry fee. What that is exactly, I don't know. Yeah, there is per rounds. You can do 9 holes, but yeah, there is a charge associated with that. I can I'll let Angie touch on that a little bit later. Yes.
I just have a question. If you want to do a bathroom remodel, do we contact CDS or do we go through you?
You'll go through me. Yeah, so the question was if they want a bathroom remodel or if you want any kind of remodel, we don't ask you to go to CDS, but you'll come to me. You can go to Lavinia and then she'll come to me and then I'll get with the contractor and then we'll come meet with you. And the contractor will work with us. He'll work with you as well, but you'll initially come to me and then I can coordinate it with Carlos. That way we know also what's on his schedule and then he can accommodate that with the other projects that he's going on as well. But yeah, the only contact really that you guys need to make would be with the maintenance department here, and then we'll reach out to the needed contractor after that. Okay? There was something else I was going to mention, slipped my mind. It'll come back. We'll go to the next slide. Question over there?
I just wondered, if the electricity goes out, is there a generator or anything that'll keep us cool?
Good point. So in this building, there is a generator, a 250 kW generator. It powers the lighting in this building. Powers the lighting. It gives us some phone capability at the front desk. The air conditioning is not tied into the generator in this building, unfortunately. Because this building being independent living was only designed mainly to get us to be able to be mobile and move about as needed. In your apartment, you have one light at your entrance that's tied into the generator. All the stairwell lighting, the common area lighting, we have some that's tied into the generator. We have some critical kitchen equipment that's tied into the generator as well. All 6 elevators as well are all tied to the generator. Now, when the power does go out, all 6 elevators are not energized at one time. There's 1 elevator on each side that will be in use, and if we need to increase the amount of elevators, we can do that by use of a transfer switch in the equipment room on the first floor. So in this building, the AC is not included. However, at our healthcare center and assisted living and memory care, the full building is under generator power by natural gas. So if power goes out there, within, I think it's like transfers within 3 seconds, the generator picks up the building, AC, full equipment, electric, everything is repowered. Correct, by law. Yes, ma'am.
What about GBT? Do they,
GBT is similar to independent living, this building, so they also have power just in the common areas in the stairwell, and then 1 light in their entryway. Okay? As far as hours of operation, typically 7:30, the guys are here, some come at 7, but 7:30 to 6, there is somebody on site. Weekends, we do not have anybody on site, but we will address any emergency needs through use of the on-call service. And that's what you see there after hours or weekends. We ask that you call the front desk, and if it's a true emergency, AC out, major flood, major leak, something with your electric is out, they'll contact the on-call tech. Every day there's a different technician that's scheduled on call, and they'll come in and see to whatever it is that needs to be fixed. And if we need to call in a vendor or contractor, they'll come in as well. Because there's been plenty of times where HVAC contractors come after hours or plumbers come after hours. I think it was just 2 weeks ago, residents' dining room table, the glass completely shattered. And I mean, just exploded, shattered, it went across the room. So Service Master actually came in, cleaned it up, deep cleaned the carpet, same day, and was able to take care of that for us as well. So the biggest takeaway really for you guys, I guess, after hours is to know, contact the front desk, and they will reach out to us, and then we will make sure we get somebody here to take care of their needs. Next slide. Just some interesting facts. Again, we talked about the size of the campus, the number of buildings. If you think about like door locks, AC units, how many there are around the campus, we're responsible for each and every one of those around this campus. And it can be a daunting task, but again, with the cooperation of the 15 maintenance techs, CDS contractors, CNS landscaping, all of our contractors that are ancillary that we reach out and use, we're able to get all this accomplished. And you as residents really help us out a lot. You know, you have a lot of eyes and ears. You see things that we don't. So if you see it needs to be addressed, let us know, and we'll do our best to correct it as soon as we can. And then, again, this is just a sampling of items that we've got going on around this building on a daily basis. Next slide. I believe that's it. You guys have one question in the back?
Yes, about 2 weeks ago, around 9 o'clock, we were standing in something, fire alarm went off. Now we're sitting in the apartment, trying to find a book. What do we do? Do we leave the apartment? My thought was, stay where we're at. Will someone come to get us or announce if we have to evacuate? Because that siren went on for quite some time.
Yeah, I remember that.
Couldn't get the front desk. Of course, everybody in the building was calling the front desk. So my thought was, we'll stay in place, we'll towel under the door, and pray. What do we do?
So her comment was about 2 weeks ago, we had a fire alarm go off around 9 o'clock at night. She didn't know what to do. Are you supposed to leave the apartment? Do you stay in the apartment? The directive and a recommendation is that you shelter in place, stay in your apartment until the fire alarm is gone, and you won't hear an audible anything over speaker that it's all clear. What we do is we send out a message through phone call, text, or email through SwiftReach that either it's all clear, or if it actually is an evacuation, the fire department will be here and they'll be the ones evacuating you out of that apartment. Now, okay, what's that?
They would come up and get
They'll come up and get you, yes. Now, there is a yellow magnet, we'll mention it again at Town Hall, and I know Stephanie keeps it down there in third floor administrative area. On that magnet, if you keep it on the inside of your door, it gives you the brief description of what to do, shelter in place.
Never got one.
No problem, we have plenty, and if you don't have one, stop down and grab some and keep them on the front of your door.
By your office?
Stephanie's desk at the third floor administrative area. But yes, if the fire alarm goes off, shelter in place, each one of your apartments is outfitted with a full sprinkler system. The safest place is in your apartment. Because again, if you come out into the hallway, when the fire department does come, if they need to evacuate, they don't know who's in the apartment and they don't know who's not in the apartment. And then it creates chaos in the hallway as well. So the best thing is stay in your apartment, and I know those fire alarms are loud, but they need to be that loud so that they can alert you. If you're asleep, they'll wake you up. If you're hearing impaired, there is a strobe on those same audio-visual devices. So if you see that strobe going off, the alarm's going off. And that's, again, the main directive there is to shelter in place. Good question, good comment. Yes, ma'am.
Would you like to share with us how the progress is going with the car wash facility?
Car wash, yes. So we talked briefly about that fenced area over there. We were waiting on the vinyl fence to go up, and pretty much 95% of that is up. So next week, the electrician's coming to run the electric for the vacuum, and then we'll have two water hoses run out, and then 2 air lines run out over there as well. So I'd say within the next week, we should have a usable car wash area. And that's over there in the back of the visitor parking. I'm sure many of you have seen the large white PVC fence. There's a nook that's actually been built out about 15 by 25 feet. So you can actually drive your car in there, spray it out, clean it as you need to, and we'll have some towels and everything kept there for you. And we did that so that instead of staying out in the roadway, you're actually safe in a little area before you were out in the roadway with the cart path of other vehicles and delivery trucks going by. Yes?
Over in GBT, where the garages are integral to the building,
Mm-hmm.
do we have carbon monoxide detectors installed in the apartments there?
Great point. That's actually something that's come up here in the past few months and what we're working on right now. Question was, at GBT, do we have any carbon monoxide sensors in place? Currently, we have a carbon monoxide standalone sensor in the first floor of every building at the elevator. This year, with a fire alarm upgrade project we're doing, we're going to install CO2 sensors in every garage, and then in every common area, first floor, second floor, third floor, we'll have one as well. And then in your apartments, we can do a standalone system so that you'll have something in the apartment. So the one in the garage and in the common areas will be tied into the fire alarm panel. If it goes off, fire alarm will sound, and then the front desk will be notified, and then we'll know that something is going on with the CO2 and with carbon monoxide. And it's important to note, in the garages, those garages aren't 100% sealed. It's closed off, but if you actually stand in your garage and shut the lights off and look towards the garage door, you could see daylight around that garage. So any bit of air gap of any sort, that carbon monoxide is going to go out. And in speaking with our fire inspector and even our fire alarm contractor, a vehicle's got to be running for a good portion of time in a sealed area for that monoxide really to have any kind of adverse effect on your health. But that doesn't mean we're not going to take some steps of safety to protect us from that. And the reason why it has not been there, back when the buildings were built, it wasn't required by code. But of course, codes have changed, times have changed, and right now it is a safety issue. It is a code requirement, so that's why we are putting that in place now. Yes?
It brings up another question. We're on the first floor of GVT, and as you said, those garage doors are not sealed. What happens during a hurricane?
As far as the hurricane goes?
Yeah, because those garage doors, you can see the light.
Right. Well, again, in a catastrophic hurricane, those buildings are concrete and metal, steel studs. So in your apartment is still the safest location. You know, we don't want you to come out into the corridor, but even at that corridor, you've got a service door that's a 1 hour rated fire door. That's metal. So that's gonna give you some protection there as well. And plus you got a concrete block building that you're gonna be in. Category 4 hurricane or even higher, that's pretty substantial. Many of you, I'm sure you've seen the damage caused, the aftermath from that. You know, we're in a pretty safe structure in these buildings, I can't say. So we're as safe as we can be, staying put. Any other comments or questions?
Sibby, I have a question that someone raised to me for you. What about electric cars?
Great question, great comment. So I know we were looking at adding electric charging stations out there at the golf cart area. Since then, cars have changed, the charging units have changed. Many of them are coming with their own adapter to where you can use 120 volt or 220 volt. Example, resident at GVT in building 10 just bought an Audi, I forget which car it is, but he's got his own adapter. He can plug it into a 120 volt outlet or a 220 volt outlet. He brought it to the golf cart area, plugged it into a standard outlet, and it charges. We installed a 220 outlet in his apartment because the rate of charge is faster with 220. I think it charges in 4 hours versus 12 hours. So what we originally were looking at was, I think, 2 charging stations and 2 charger ports per station, so 4 vehicles could charge out there. Right now, really, we just need a bank of 120 outlets, and we have the electricity out there. So we're now need to find a location where I could run some electric to and just put up some bank of outlets over there. So it changes a little bit, but we are looking into having that available. Good question. That's to be discussed.
We'll let Mary take that one up, right?
Great segue, actually.
And I would have,
There's a question in the back.
When are you going to put the lockers in by the golf carts?
So as I mentioned, we have 50 of them built right now. Tuesday, we're gonna build a roof structure and a side metal structure over on the left side. So once that's completed, we're gonna start loading up that side with lockers that you can use. That way they're under shelter. I mean, the lockers themselves are waterproof, but if we add another shelter to it, that's gonna be better for you guys.
Sibby, I have one other question. This one is my question. Is this new air handler on the roof situation for the auditorium, is that going to mean that when the air conditioning cuts on and we're having a meeting in here, it doesn't sound like the roof is falling on us anymore?
No, it shouldn't. It actually be a lot quieter. What you're hearing, like right now, I can hear it running. You're hearing the fan on the air handler running. So the rooftop unit, the actual air handler condenser is on the roof, and the ductwork is the only thing going to be in this attic.
And does that mean if we have a dance in here, we can actually cool it down a little bit?
We will.
Sounds good to me.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate your time and your patience. Thank you.
Okay, in keeping, gentlemen in the back, with our revised schedule, I think our next speaker will be Mary Lydecker from Finance.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. So my department's not necessarily as interesting as Sibby, but we're going to talk about the finances. So basically, who is our team? Where are we located? When do the bills go out? When are the bills due? How can you sign up for ACH or direct deposit? Where can you drop off your payments? When do the tax letters go out? How does the homestead exemption work? And how does the meal plan work? And also just a quick reminder to fill out an off-campus property form if you're going to be staying somewhere overnight. So next slide, please. So many of you probably know Crystal Hosea. She's been here for over 16 years, and she deals with the billing. She does account adjustments, accounts payable, so making sure that your bills are paid. She does resident inquiries, financial move-ins and move-outs, and resident refunds. Next slide. And then we have Victoria Casey. She is our business, she is the assistant office manager, and she handles billings and account adjustments, deposits, resident inquiries, resident financial move-ins and move-outs, and resident refunds. And the goal is to have all of us completely interchanged so that we can all do each other's jobs. So where are we located? We're on the 3rd floor. So we have Victoria and Crystal's office, then there's my office, and next to me is Jeff, and then you have the little conference room, the hallway, and then you have Lavidia and Sibby, and of course Stephanie.
What happened to the map?
So when do the bills go out? And when are the payments due? So the payments, everything is cut off on the 25th. The statements are supposed to go out to everybody by the 1st of the month. And then we collect payment on the 5th of each month. And if you want to set up an ACH or direct deposit, you can see Crystal or Victoria, and they can get you set up for that. And you can leave your payments at the front desk, or you can drop them off into our office.
I'm gonna do the first. Do the 5th.
So then when do the tax letters go out? So the annual tax letters, they're sent out at the end of December. And then keep all of your statements from the prior year and give these statements along with that letter to your tax person. The homestead letters, Freedom Plaza is the one who gets the homestead credit, and then we put that back to you. And then in the event of a change of address or a name change, you'll get a letter that you'll have to sign. Then we have the meal plans. So there are 2 basic meal plans. There's the meal a day or the 21-day plan. So each person on the 21-day plan will receive a $41 credit each month. You can make changes to your meal plan at any time, but it does take at least a month to go into effect. And to receive any off-campus meal credit, you must be gone for more than 7 consecutive days in the same calendar month. So then this off-campus form, that is something to where you go to the front desk. If you're gonna stay overnight somewhere off the property, you fill out this form and you return it back to them. And that is because every day by 10 a.m., if there's been no movement in your apartment, we will send somebody to come and look for you. So, does anybody have any questions? So we would prorate. The question was about the meal credit and how that works if you're gone for more than 7 consecutive days. And we would prorate it based upon the number of days that you've actually been here. So we would take the dollar amount for your normal 21 day and prorate it based on that. Yes, sir.
I missed the payment due date.
It's due on the 5th.
The 5th?
Yes. The payment due date is the 5th of every month. Any other questions? Victoria and Crystal would have sent those out, but yes, we do have other copies in our office, so you can come down and see them. Yes. And sir? Or ma'am, I'm sorry.
If you're gone 7 days, you're coming back late on the 7th day, which means you would not get any meals. You're not going to consider that 7 days, right?
Yes, if there are 7 consecutive days where you aren't going to eat here.
Days, I'm coming back on the 7th day, but too late for any meal.
That would be 7.
That would be 7. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Any other questions?
Right here.
Yes.
If you're in the hospital, say, over 7 days, maybe a month, or earlier, less and later, you have to pay at all if you're going monthly in the hospital, or is it just 7 days?
Do you mean, do you have to pay for your,
Meals.
for the meals? That would be considered being off campus. So if you're away in the hospital, then you don't have to pay your meal plan for the time you're there. Anyone else?
May I ask a question?
You get a meal credit. Yes, I'm sorry, you do, you get a meal credit. Yes. You get a meal credit back, yes. Mr. Weston?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm already here in Sherwood. At Freedom Fairways, I was a little shocked the other day when I brought in a guest, somebody procured other things. Found out I had to pay them. Why can we not have those charges from Freedom Fairways assigned to our account here?
I can look into that. The question is if you bring guests over to the Freedom Fairways and they want to charge something, can it just be put onto your account? And that's something that I have not run into yet, but I would be happy to ask and find out if that's something that can be charged onto your account.
I asked Joey about that, he thought there would be no problem. Then you went through the changes and everything, and never got addressed. I thought it had been, but it was not. Everywhere else on campus, you have to charge it, in cash or whatever to pay for it. It just seems like for residents, it should be the same thing.
I don't see why it would be a problem to do it. I just need to make sure with Angie and with Ron that it's not an issue to just charge it to your account, but that would make complete sense. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
If you are out of town for 3 or 4 days, how does your meal structure work?
So the meal plan works if you are out of town for more than 7 consecutive days. So 4 days, it wouldn't do anything. You can get additional meals some other days to make up for that, but it wouldn't make a difference. Yes, ma'am.
If perchance, I would have comfort in it, and I was able to get rid of those apartments that are, studio apartments that are available. Now, I understand coming, but then there's a dime, that charge to my account.
Mhm.
Let's say, what if maybe the early, like we're grill and want to get a breakfast or a lunch or something like that, and I'm not with them. They'd be able to pay by a tax or credit card?
Correct. They can pay with a credit card. That's fine. Yes. If you are not present and your guests would like to come for breakfast, yes. In the grill. Anyone else?
Hi, I believe I know most every one of you in the room, but if we haven't met yet, my name is Susie Burt. Yeah, that's me. I'm the activities team leader. Okay, I'll move on. Enough about me. These are my team members, Andrea Best is our activities director. She's there in the center. And she's the friendly face that greets you in our business office, 9 to 5 usually. Kayla Waters, she's on the left, I think there, yes, is our communications assistant. And Kayla is assisted in designing, she assists me in designing and distributing all those colorful flyers that you see on Touchtown and on the TV monitors and throughout the campus on the various bulletin boards. And then Peggy Burgess does special programming such as the Opera Club. She's the advisor to the Scholarship Committee, and she escorts some of our trips and does some of our other special programming. By the way, Peggy was the first employee that was hired at Freedom Plaza a year before the campus opened. So she's celebrating 31 years at Freedom Plaza this year. I know. And I think Stephanie was the second employee, right, Steph? Yeah? 30 years? Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. Give her a hand. Give them both a hand. Okay.
But I'm much younger than Peggy.
I'm going to tell her you said that. That's funny. The role of the activities department is to offer interesting, broad scope special programs based on the life care services of the 8 dimensions that are listed here, 8 dimensions of wellness that are listed here. Because I can't see, I won't read them, but you can see them there. But today, we're going to focus on 5 of those dimensions because our department's role is to focus primarily on certain dimensions. They obviously intertwine, a lot of them, and you'll see that connection. But we're going to focus on the particularly 5 dimensions, which is physical, intellectual, spiritual, social, and vocational, which is also known as purposeful. I'm going to briefly highlight each of these 5 dimensions, but I really just want to share with you that the most difficult part of preparing for this presentation today was choosing which programs to use as example, because all 62 programs are equally significant to the 5 dimensions. So don't hate me, don't send me letters if I didn't use the club that you're the most passionate about or interested in. I had to pick one for the sake of time for each dimension today. So we're going to go with physical first, which is important because to maintain and improve your physical health and your well-being. Because of the hot weather, practically how many months out of the year? 10 months out of the year here? Most of our fitness programs are conveniently indoors. So at least you can sweat from exercise and not from the Florida weather. So that's an advantage, right, that we have here. And you can see that most of our programs here, or a good portion of them, are indoors for your convenience and comfort. Next, we're going to talk about the intellectual wellness. Click. Thank you. Intellectual wellness, we all know what that means. It broadens our horizons through educational and cultural pursuits. Now, this was hard to choose which one, again, as an example to use, but let's talk about graduate school for seniors. I don't think many of you, or any of you maybe, have been to any of the graduate school programs. Raise your hand if you've been fortunate enough to attend. Okay. Oh, well, Mr. Sweet. But because our last one due to the pandemic was 2018. But I've got good news for you. Grad school, as we finally call it, is coming back. It's resuming this year in the fall. So hopefully you'll have that opportunity to participate. If you don't know what it is, it's a continuing education program of various lectures that are all planned and managed by our residents. It's a very robust program and certainly one that you'll want to be interested. I believe, is there anyone here that's on that committee? Mr. Glenn, when does the registrations come out? Forms? He doesn't know. But, would you guess for me? Usually, when do we usually do that? About July? July or August? Okay. All right, so be looking for that information. I think you'll find it really beneficial and interesting. Okay, next we're going to talk about, which one is that? What slide is that? Thank you. Vocational wellness offers opportunities to participate in or practice those skills and abilities and creative talents that you've developed over a lifetime, or maybe it's something new that you're interested in pursuing for the very first time. Again, another very difficult one to decide. If you'll keep clicking, it'll show you each one of those. And you can see why I had a hard time deciding which one of those to discuss and talk about. But we're going to use, as an example, the Technology Committee, which helps meet the interest of residents using electronic devices, amongst the many other things that they do. They also promote new technology enabled programming throughout the community, such as Touchdown. Next slide. See how I segued in there to that? Do you like that, Mr. Vore? Not really? Okay. Touchdown is a resident concierge app that puts the information of our community at your fingertips 24/7. Next slide. You can make your dinner reservations, sign up for events, learn about clubs, and so much more on Touchdown. How many of you, raise your hand if you use Touchdown currently?
Where is it on your phone?
Awesome. It's on your phone, it's on your computer. If you're interested in getting, we have to give you a password, as we assign you a password and a username. If you'll come to our office, we will be happy to give you the information, or call us or email us, and we'll be happy to hook you up. And right, and I'm going to say that in just a second too, but thank you. Yes, it is on rackrep.org as well. Next slide. You can easily access Touchdown as well as many other community links on rackrep.org. And there you go, that's what rackrep.org looks like. Again, I'm only briefly skimming on Touchdown and all that it offers, but you can come see. We have pamphlets. We have a user handbook that's very, very helpful. So if you're interested in that, let us know and we'll give you that as well. The Tech Club will also assist you in running through it and give you a tutorial as well if you need one. Okay, next slide. Okay, spiritual wellness. We want to make sure that you nurture your spirituality through on-site worship services, Freedom Plaza's Nature Trail, which Sibby talked about earlier, religious studies, we do music performances, and more. As an example, we have the Dixie Echoes Gospel Quartet that's going to be here in observance of Easter Holy Week. It's going to be this coming Monday night in the evening. It's a free concert here in the auditorium. We also, another example, we've got something coming up in the observance of the Jewish Passover. We have the traditional Seder dinner that Dining is hosting on April the 15th at the Plaza Club. So there's always opportunities for spiritual wellness. Next slide. Social. We could spend lots of time talking about this. But even though it's going to be one of our last slides, social wellness is invaluable. It's essential to have some fun along the way, right? And there are clubs, there's committees, there are activities, there's special interest groups, there's excursions, there's celebrations, the list goes on and on. 62 in total for you to enjoy. Did you know that we have 62 programs here on campus? Are you aware of that? All right, well, in the back, in the very back where your table is, there's a pamphlet back there if you'd like to grab one of those. If we run out, we have some in our office as well. So with all those social programs, I want to have you click to the next slide, please. And there's some dates that I want to tell you about. You can click it twice. There you go. And again. Thank you. We want to save the date. Here's a couple dates that we're going to have some more fun. And these particular dates you might want to write down on your calendar. Freedom Plaza's 30th anniversary celebration is the week of July the 18th. It's going to include a champagne toast social, a golf tournament, and the signature party that we always do on the 21st. I'm not going to tell you what the theme is. I'm just going to tell you that you're going to have a lot of wild fun. Oh, former themes. We've done Hollywood. I've done so many, 14 of them, I can't remember. We are doing a casino, I will tell you that. That is very popular with you folks. So we're doing a casino, we'll have a dance floor down the atrium, and then we'll do the libation lounge out on the deck. And then of course we'll have lots of music, and you know that Teresa and Chef, that you know the food that they present for anniversary is just out of this world. So you'll want to make your dinner reservation. All of that information is probably going to come out about May, so you can start watching for it. But yeah, just be prepared to have a wild time. That's all I got to say about that. We're also in the planning stages. My team and I are already underway for our annual holiday excursion. This year we're going to travel to Tennessee and North Carolina for a Smoky Mountain Christmas. A lot of you have asked for that, so we're going to do that, which will include Pigeon Forge shows, and we're going to visit the historic Biltmore Estate, which is beautiful at Christmas time. Okay, so those are some things. But speaking of fun, I can't not mention the Freedom Plaza Drama Club show last night. Did any of you attend? Wasn't that great? I know. All right, for those of you that did attend, you're going to understand and probably agree with me that it was a full house and it was fun, and then before you knew it, it was done. You did attend. I know. I just wrote that a few minutes ago. It came to me. I was inspired. But seriously, what a great show that was. Everything was in rhyme. It was incredible. Mr. Glenn, what was your character?
Man.
You were a man? Well, that's not too big of a stretch. Anybody else here that was in the show? Ms. Moore, what was your character?
I played Little Red. I'd rather be big and blonde instead.
That was the whole show. Rhymes. It was great. It was great. Okay, I lost my paper. Apologize. All right, so we do have lots of fun here. We want to make sure that you're entertained, that you're practicing social wellness. It's such an important part of all of our lives. And so speaking of fun, our last slide. I'm going to conclude with this slide here. They say that pictures are worth 1,000 words. So I'm just going to let these photos do the talking. Any other questions for me? Okay, thank y'all so much. Have a good afternoon.
Hi, I'm Lisa Franca, Director of Resident Services.
taller than some. There I am. I am the Resident Services Director here at Freedom Plaza. My office is on the 3rd floor, just past the elevators on the D&E side, on the left. There is a studio apartment first, and I think some people see that, just past that. So just keep going a little bit more and you'll see me. Go ahead. Okay, yes. Our department here, we support the health and wellness of our residents to keep you as independent as long as possible so you stay with us. The organizations here at Freedom Plaza that I support are the Healthcare Committee, which is, it's a RAC group, and it's a group of residents mostly that have some health background, not always, but we get together and talk about making some events for the residents, some presentations, and also to give some information that we put out there. So helpful. I support the VIP organization, which is our visually impaired group. They do a lot for our residents, so that's a big group, and they help, very helpful. So if you need that information, let us know. I also support the Fitness Center Committee, which is a newer group, which is going really well, I think. We'll talk more about that probably later. So some of the things that we do in the Wellness Center, we do annual flu shots, but we actually do them up here usually. And then also the COVID vaccine, if that's not on here, but we do that too. We're getting ready to work on the second booster shot. We do have medical doctors that pay visits here on campus. So they come to the Wellness Center. Occasionally, some of you will know that some of the doctors do come to your apartments, and they're okay. They're okay with that. We do have a lab service that comes weekly. Sherry, my EMT, she handles that, which is a great service because they come once a week, sometimes twice. If we're really booked, they will give us a second date. We do that by appointment, so you call my office, either Sherry or I can set you up with that. Usually we get your lab reports back by the next day, which is really nice. And we send it to your doctors. We send it by fax. Some doctors we send by email. Sometimes we send it to 3 or 4 doctors for you. So when you come in, and whoever you need it to go to, you let us know. And then we also put a copy in your mailbox. So you'll get a copy within a couple of days. Unless there are occasionally some tests that take longer, but you will get it. If you don't get it, then just give me a call and we'll make sure you do. The doctors that come to the Wellness Center, they do all their appointments through their office. So there is a packet of information that's back there. Everyone usually gets it when you move in. My MT gets it to you. If you haven't gotten it, let me know, but I did make copies back there for you. It tells you all the doctors that come here and then how to make the appointments with their office. We don't do their schedules for them because that gets way too complicated. We talked about where the Wellness Center is. Okay, you can go to the next one. So our EMTs, we have emergency medical technicians here. We have one here at all times. We have 6 total that cover the 24 hours, 7 days a week, so there's always someone here. Occasionally, if there's not someone here, you'll see me here. I'm not an EMT, but I am a nurse, so it's okay. But there's one here all the time. Normally, the EMTs are at the front desk, except for 7 to 3 Monday through Friday, which is Sherry, who's the main EMT. She's in my office with me during those hours. She does a lot of clerical work and stuff for us, and like the lab and all that stuff she helps with. So the EMTs, they do the assurance system, the daily check. And that's where the sensor that's in your master bathroom, when you go in there, you don't have to do anything, just go in there. We get a report at 10 a.m. and that tells us who has not been into the bathroom that day. And then first the EMT will get that list. She'll call everybody on the list. There are some that are on the list every day. Some people like to sleep in, that's okay. But then Sherry will give you a call. If she can't reach you by phone, then she will show up at your apartment, see if you're okay. If you don't answer the door, she will come in and just to do a check to make sure that everything is okay. And that was one of the things I think Mary talked about earlier. When you do the off-campus form, then we're notified, so we don't have to do that process, that we know you're not here. Because if you don't tell us you're gone, we're still gonna do it. So, and that's okay. If there's an emergency, there is pull cords in your apartment, or some people have pendants. And then you can call the front desk too and ask for someone to come, and they will notify the EMT to come.
Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
is it better to, not call 911, but let the front desk call, like, you think you're having a heart attack or something?
So, and the question is, would you call 911 yourself? So we do have residents that do that. But you know, the best thing to do is definitely let us know. If you really feel like you want to, then try to still, I tell residents, you can call. I can't tell you can't call. But it's best if the EMT is aware of what's happening, because it's a big building. So that way when we call 911 for you, we can tell them the best way to get in the building and then get them to you. So we can lock the elevator down, we can do what we need to on our end to make sure they get to you. And then the EMT will be with you as well, and yes, and already be helping. They're already assessing you. If you need oxygen, they can get that to you. Different things. So it's best to let us know. You know, I was working as an EMT the other night, and the county just came walking in. So someone did call, which is, I mean, you can, but it just makes it much easier for aware, so we can help. Yeah. Next one. Okay, we talked a little bit about the insurance system already. So there are pull cords in your apartment. There are emergency pendants you can get. If you don't have one, come see me. If you live alone, it's especially important to have one, because you never know. We want you to be able to get help if you need it. I don't know, we talked about a few, like, we do have pull cords in the apartment. Honestly, sometimes they're pulled by mistake. We have some residents that have cats that like to mess with them, so they get pulled. So the front, when he goes off, the front desk is calling to see if you're okay, while the EMT is getting to you. So at least that. I didn't. Oh, would they wrap their pull cords around like the bars in their bathroom? I don't really particularly like that idea, and I mean, I would rather you have accidental pulls. Those don't bother me at all. I'd rather you have accident than to try to put the cord somewhere where then you couldn't get to it. Because if you wrap it around this cord and then you fell, but you couldn't reach it, I'd rather be hanging. It's okay to have accidental pulls. Really is. We don't mind. But some people will put them out of place or tie them up or. Which ones? You just walk into your bathroom and it notifies. It's a motion sensor. It's a motion. It's usually in the master bathroom. I will check. What's your apartment number, and I'll check on that. 232. Because there is a sensor in your bathroom, and it's usually in the master, right? We have moved it. Sometimes we have moved it if residents have called and said, I don't use that bathroom and I'm tired of you calling me, but we'll check to see.
With the sensor in the bathroom, is there an indicator in there that shows that it's being activated?
Sipping?
There may be a little red light on the top.
Never seen it.
I don't think.
If not, it's just a clear screen, that's it, it's just a motion activator.
Any other questions about insurance? Okay, we can go to the next one. This is the medical emergency profile sheet. You'll see it on the next page. So when a resident moves in, the information that you've given us, we take and we create a medical profile sheet on you. And then from the information we get from your physician as well. We use that information if we were to call an ambulance service to come in and take you to the hospital, we give them that as a copy. It has your, we can go to the next slide so I can see it. this is it, page 1 and 2. Depending how much information, it could end up being 3 pages, but we put on there some high medical stuff. Not all your medical history can go on here, but we put some information, who your doctor is, what your hospital preference might be. If you have advanced directives, if we have them here, we mark that so they know that answer. Your emergency contacts are listed on here as well. So who we would notify in the event that we send you to the hospital. And then we do, like, allergies is important to make sure we have a list of what you're allergic to. So this information is given to the ambulance service that will be taking you to the hospital. So that way they have this information. And go ahead.
I don't remember making that out.
So like I said, the information you give us that you fill out in marketing, there's a health page. We take that information and we move it over. And then we also get forms from your physician when you move in. So we use that information as well. Sherry, my EMT, if we don't have enough information to complete the form, then she will reach out to you. And sometimes we'll send you, and at any time you can ask us to send it to you, we will, and then you can mark on it, bring it back, and we'll update it for you. Yes, ma'am. So a vial of life, and we keep some in the wellness center. It's actually, it used to be in the freezer, but now it's in a Ziploc baggie. They've changed the program a little bit. It has a 1-page form that you can keep on the outside of your refrigerator to give additional information that you would like to share with if you go out to the hospital, for the ambulance service to look for. So when they come into your apartment, they still look for that as well. But we've given them this. The one thing we don't track is the list of medications that you take. It changes so rapidly that, and it can make a big difference. So if you do keep a vial of life, I do ask that's one of the main things you keep in there, is a list of your current medications. It is, because they used to in the squad. I think Sun City Center Squad still gives out that program, but they've updated it, so it's a little different. We keep it on the outside of the fridge because then you see it. You put it in the freezer, you might forget. Yeah, not think about updating it. You can go to the next one. So we're going to talk a little bit about advanced directives. So these things we keep on file here. We don't really necessarily use them for independent living, but if you were to go to a hospital or something and they call and they need a copy of something, we can have it to give to them for you. We keep your power of attorney, your healthcare surrogate, your living will, and your do not resuscitate order if you have one. These things basically just give someone taking care of you to know what your wishes are. So we always want to make sure that your wishes are handled the way you want them to. And this is what gives that to you. A lot of people do them with their attorneys, or there are forms online that we can give you a copy of, and you can complete them yourself if you don't have them. Next. Another one of my tasks I get to help with is when residents transition to different levels of care. This could be when they're going to assisted living, memory care. That could mean, it could just mean temporary situation or permanent situation. Some residents go to like rehab and then return home. So we kind of look at that, like after you've been in the hospital, or even if you're here, like if you're needing more help, what does that look like for you? Then we meet, I usually would talk to your families, talk to you. Sometimes the physicians will call and say, that someone might need a little help. So we look at that, and one of the first things we try to do is put in something in the home if it's possible. We do have home health services that come in. We do have outpatient therapy. You can get your meals delivered if you're not feeling well, and all that. I don't set up your meals, but I can make sure that they know that it's covered under medical, so you wouldn't incur any charges for that. Next. So therapy services, there's a couple ways you can get therapy. Home health care is when they come into your apartment, and that is, you could get skilled nursing services if you have a wound and you need wound care, if you need some therapies, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy for different reasons. Sometimes people come from the hospital and they'll start with home health services in their apartment, And then we transition next to outpatient, which would be where you go downstairs to the therapy center. It's behind the fitness center. We have some therapists that are in there doing physical therapy, occupational speech as well, for many different reasons. And all of these things are ordered by your physician. So, but if you feel like yourself you need some therapy services, you can come to me and I can reach out to your physician and get the orders for that. And then, but everything has to be done under the directive of your physician.
Hey,
Yes,
is there a charge for physical therapy?
it depends. So, is there a charge for therapy? So, most insurances cover it. So there are some occasions that you may have a copay. It depends on your insurance plan. So whatever your insurance, if you have a different plan, some people do, or don't have a secondary, like outpatient therapy is typically covered 80% under your Part B Medicare, and then the 20% would be covered under your secondary insurance. But somebody's insurances could be different, so it depends on really on your insurance. And we could check that if you have any questions. But before therapy is started, they do let you know if there are any out-of-pocket charges for you. The fitness center. The fitness center, there's two. We have one on the first floor here on the D&E side as well, and then we have one down at GBT. There are emergency pendants in the fitness center, so if you're in there by yourself, you can put one on if you don't already have one. That way, if you have an emergency while you're in there, we know we could come in and help you. That we do support with the fitness center committee. Our fitness center committee members they're helping with providing instructions on how to use the machines. They don't give you like a workout routine, but they can tell you how to use a particular machine. So some of the machines, if you're not familiar with, they'd be more than happy to visit with you down there and help show you how to use it. If there are some other, like we could always refer you back to therapy if you feel like there's something more that you need that we can't do, but because they can do more of a program for you, but the committee will just help teach you how to use a particular machine and make sure that you're using it in the safest way. Any questions? Thank you.
Hello, I'm Andrika Williams with Innovative Home Services, better known as IHS, and I am the IHS manager. I am the office manager, and Arlene is the director of Innovative Home Services. She could not be here today, so I am taking her place. Innovative Home Services provides a variety of personalized concierge and support services for our residents. Our office is located in Freedom Plaza on the 3rd floor, apartment 330D. And Arlene or I are in the office from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. But I am on call 24 hours, so if you need anything, if you're signed up with our services, I am available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Innovative Home Services provides long-term services and short-term services. So what that means, you can sign up for a service for 1 day, 1 hour, once a week, or you can sign up long-term until you discontinue the service. Okay, where do we serve Freedom Plaza? Innovative Home Services, we serve the Plaza, Golfview Terrace, better known as GVT, Freedom Plaza Assisted Living, FPAL, Freedom Plaza Memory Care, and Plaza West, which is also known as the Inn. some of the concierge services that Innovative Home Services provide. It's pet care, housekeeping, laundry, ironing, plant care, light meal prep, and in addition, shopping, technology assistance, escort assistance, companionship, and home organization. So if you are planning a trip and you have your wonderful, loving pets that you need to leave behind, you can call Innovative Home Services and we can come in and take care of your pets while you're away. If you need laundry assistance, we can provide you with laundry assistance. If you need assistance going to a medical appointment, we also will assign a care provider with you to escort you to your medical appointment. That is some of the concierge services we provide. Some of the supportive services that Innovative Home Services provide is grooming, personal hygiene, shower assistance, and dressing assistance. Innovative Home Services also provides what we call medication programs, which includes med reminders, prescription refills. So our office has a registered nurse that will come to your apartment and we will provide setting up your medication. When the medication needs to be refilled, we will do all of the work, all of the background, all of the calling the pharmacy, getting in contact with your physician to refill your meds. We also can pick up your prescriptions, and if you need someone to pick up your prescriptions, or most times right now we're refilling prescriptions with pharmacy delivery. So we'll set up where the pharmacy will deliver it to your apartment. If you're interested in learning more about Innovative Home Services and what we can help you with on a personal assistance, please contact our office at 813-642-1249. Any questions? Yes. So the table with, I think it's a table here with, and there's a price list, and then we have a list of services. There's a brochure there, and there's also, I don't know if you guys got a flyer. Right now we're doing spring cleaning. Yeah, so it should be one of those out there too if you need help with your spring cleaning. Yes.
We've only been here a month, maybe less than, but I have used your services that you did. You guys were so responsive and helpful with my kitties.
Oh, thank you.
I want to thank you and the staff
Yes.
because you did a great job.
Yes, thank
and
you.
I would recommend it to anyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did everybody hear that?
No,
Okay, that was
Miss
Stevie Stevens.
Yeah, Miss Stevens, we took care of her 3 kitties, and they're very shy. And I assured her that we would go in and take good care of them while her and her husband was away, and we did. We enjoyed the kitties. And we're gonna have opportunities to take care of them again in June. Any more questions? Yes, ma'am.
Are most of these services covered by, not dog walking necessarily, but covered by our long-term care insurance?
We do not take, so the question was, do we accept long-term care insurance for our services? So this is a private service, and we do not, for some of the services, we do not accept insurances for, but we do have one particular service that we can put in a claim for reimbursement, but most of the services are private pay.
And I'll just piggyback on Andrika's comment there. So a lot of you, if you have long-term care insurance, there's a home health benefit that goes along and will reimburse up to a certain dollar amount per day for home health services, which some of the services that IHS provides qualify for. And what we will do is we'll fill out any paperwork you need filled out if your services qualify for that reimbursement. However, we do not accept assignment. So we bill you, you pay the bill, and then your long-term care insurance will reimburse you if it does cover the services we're providing.
Correct. Which means we usually just send your insurer your invoice for reimbursement back, to you. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Hi, I'm Karina Fristad. I'm the president of the Retired Officers Corporation, also known as ROC, R-O-C, not to be confused with RAC, R-A-C, the Resident Association Council. Both are very good groups. Back up, Larry. Larry's my boss. He's the chairman of the Retired Officers Corporation, so I really shouldn't talk to him like that. ROC is located on the 3rd floor, across from the B and C elevators. We're open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. We are managed by 9 directors. Our chairman is Larry Chambers, who's back there running the equipment with Mr. Four. Harv Turner, Dennis Brady, Sheila Benter, Benny Blackshire, Beverly Gosserin, Nell Hartman, and Wayne Stout. Those are our directors. I think all of them actually live here right now. Sometimes we have directors from the outside. Next, we already did. The staff in the office is myself, Heather Hampton, who has been with Freedom Plaza for over 18 years and has been with ROC for just under a year. She worked in the accounting office in what Crystal Hosea is doing right now, right? And Crystal French, who is our administrative assistant. We are all cross-trained for the most part to do whatever we can to help you. It's dark up here, so I gotta read my notes. All 3 of the full-time ROC office staff are cross-trained to assist with a variety of resident support, from your portable electronic devices to notary type services. The office motto is, if we can't help you, we will find someone who can. Next slide, please. We also have on staff Connie Lesko, who is our part-time business development coordinator. Connie is the liaison between Freedom Plaza, the Chamber of Commerce, and the Community Association of Sun City Center. She does our business development, or as a lot of us call it, marketing, for Freedom Plaza and for ROC in the community. Some of the shows she's attended would be like the Kings Point Spring Fling, Chamber Business Expo, Men's Club Health Fair. She also co-hosts the dances that we do up here quarterly, and she's the liaison with West Central Honor Flight. Next slide, please. People often ask me, what does ROC do? Well, I kind of look back at them like a deer in the headlights because we try to do whatever we can. We have many layers. ROC is a private corporation. We are not part of Freedom Plaza in the way that the other departments are. We are partners with Freedom Plaza. And our goal, we were the original founders of this community, and our goal was to have an office like we do on the 3rd floor to provide you with whatever assistance we can to make your life easier here at Freedom Plaza. So those layers that he has up there now include partnerships, Freedom Plaza support, advertising, marketing events, resident services, community events, and contributions. And of course, the core of all of that is you, our residents. We do all those things so that we can have that office to help you with whatever we can. Next slide, please. The partnership is a legal agreement between Rock and Freedom Plaza. It was just recently updated when LCS took over February 2020. Before that, we had had the same agreement for almost 30 years. Our responsibility in that agreement is to advertise and endorse Freedom Plaza to the military demographic. In return for that advertisement, we get what's called royalty money back for certain people that move in that qualify as Rock eligible. We operate as a not-for-profit, which is also important. However, we're not a 501c3. We're way off here, Larry. Can you back up to Freedom Plaza? Okay, one more. No, one more forward. Next slide. There we go. Some of the things we do for Freedom Plaza in particular is FPN, which is channel 732. It's an in-house Spectrum station, TV station. So if you have a Spectrum cable box, not Spectrum online streaming, but a Spectrum cable box in your office or in your home, or the free basic cable in your home, you can access the Freedom Plaza channel of 732, which includes many things, including playbacks of town halls, playbacks of RAC meetings, birthdays, managers on duty, just all kinds of information, including the information that you see on the TVs downstairs, the digital systems. That's also on that channel 732. We also offer audio and visual support at meetings and events. We offer Freedom Plaza manpower assistance whenever we can. We do clerical things for them, like the walker tags that you put on your walkers or your canes or your scooters. We help with the wall of honor pictures in the dining room. And of course, we update and put out the digital directory and pictorial. Someone did want me to explain a little more what the wall of honor is. In the dining room, and this is a dining project, they had wanted to honor our residents that were military. So when you go to the dining rooms and you see the pictures on the 3 walls, those pictures come to us first in the Rock office. We scan them and mat them and put the information on them, and dining hangs them. So if you have not put your picture up there and you are military and you'd like to be part of that, please stop by the Rock office with your photo, because we would love to have you there. The other thing that they wanted me to touch on was the digital directories. If you have filled out your Rock paperwork when you moved in, and you provided me with your email address and a yes, please publish, then you should receive a digital directory and pictorial from me approximately every month. In fact, I sent it out this morning. One thing to look at before you dump your junk is to check your junk folder, because sometimes the emails go to the junk folder when you send them to that many people. So if you'd like help accessing those or putting them on your devices, feel free to stop by the office. We can help you with that as well. Next slide, please. Advertising is our required responsibility to Freedom Plaza, and we advertise through military publications such as Military Officers, a magazine, freedomplaza.com website. We provide promotional items for events. We advertise in the local Sun City Center newspaper, some local programs, and the website, freedomplaza.com, was started when we first had internet, basically. freedomplaza.com was purchased by Rock. Back then, there was no other Freedom Plaza website at all. Since Brookdale came on and then LCS, they do have another one. However, we had paid for, I think, 40 years of that URL, that web domain, so we still have it. Next slide, please. Our marketing events include a Veterans Day event that we open to the public. The last few years, we've had a concert up here. Of course, everything that Rock does is free of charge. We also have an Alzheimer's walk team. We attend the MOAA National Convention. And of course, we pay for our business development coordinator, Connie Lesko, to be on staff so that she can attend those events and vendor shows that I mentioned earlier. Next slide, please. Since we operate as a not-for-profit, at the end of the year, if we have extra cash available, we like to donate it. And we've done that in very, very different ways. We've donated to the Alzheimer's Association, the Associate Appreciation Fund. Did we talk about that today? I don't know if anybody did. We donate to the Associate Appreciation Fund, which is for the Freedom Plaza Associates, which hopefully you'll hear more about. Honor Flight of West Central Florida. We sponsors the Guardians to go with the veterans here at Freedom Plaza. MFST, which is the Military Family Support Trust Group, which is right outside this door. We have a $10,000 scholarship for high school students. MOAA, we advertise, or we contribute to MOWW, the Military Officers of the World War. We've donated to the Freedom Plaza Library, setting them up with their digital system that they have now. In the past, we purchased equipment for dining services. We put in the tennis courts and equipment. We've donated the 4 AV systems, all with hearing loops. So if you're wearing a hearing aid and you can hear this, it's because of that hearing loop. We put in the new pickleball courts, the new gazebo, and then when you came and visited marketing, you might have got to ride in that pretty red rock golf cart. That's also ours. We maintain that with maintenance, and we purchased it originally. So that's where our money goes at the end of the year if there's any left over. Next slide, please. Our community events, Freedom Plaza community events, include our annual breakfast and meeting every year in January. We have a Memorial Day program every year, which is coming up on May 30th of this year. It's usually a full house. We take the opportunity to remember our neighbors and friends from here at Freedom Plaza at that ceremony. We also have our Veterans Day concert. We honor POW MIA Recognition Day down in the atrium. I mentioned we co-host dances. We also sponsor American Cancer Society and Alzheimer's concert fundraisers. And how many of you have been here to see the flags on the boulevard when they're all up? That we pay for those flags, and we organize the going up and going down of those flags as well. And the little flags that you put out in your halls also come from our office. Next slide, please. That looks different on my page. Resident services, the core, the reason why we're here is to help you. Now please remember our services are all complimentary. We sponsor and host memorial services. In fact, we have 2 coming up next week for our residents, Mr. Nicholson and Mrs. Boyer. We put up the memorial notices that you see downstairs in the atrium. We provide survivor assistance with the spouses that are left behind. That can take up to a year for any of you who have used our services. It's very important, and to us, it's our most important thing to do. We help contact Social Security, life insurances. We fill out all the applications, mail everything out for you, sit with you through every single phone call. We do everything we can to help get you through that time. We also offer electronic device troubleshooting in the ROC office or over the phone. If we can't help you, we do have Crystal is actually our liaison with the RAC Tech Committee, who will call and schedule appointments for you with them. We all 3 in the office are notaries, and we offer that service. We provide ROC calendars, which you may have gotten one in your welcome packet from us, as well as the visually impaired calendars that go out. We put those together and print them up for the VIPs every year. We help residents with their online order pharmacies and groceries. We offer general clerical assistance. The tax forms that you see in the Resident Resource Center on the 3rd floor, we keep those up for you every year from January till the end of tax season. We also assist you with your insurance claims, your medical forms, anything you need help with. Somebody came in with a cell phone bill today. She hadn't had that cell phone in 2 years, and they just sent her a bill for 2 years. We helped her make the phone call and worked them through it so that they would remove that bill from her. I wanted you to think about that for a second, I guess. We also have a laminator in our office, and we'll laminate things for you. We send out the email blast like I did this morning with the directories. And we also have a ROC YouTube channel where we upload the different meetings and things, so you can also go to YouTube to watch anything that we have posted. Next slide, please. Sarah did ask that I really touch on the electronic troubleshooting and the RAC Tech Committee scheduling. Rock offers whatever you can help for whatever you can bring in our office. So your cell phones, your watches, your tablets, your laptops. If you can bring that to us, we will help you troubleshoot any problem you're having. If it's something in your apartment, you call Crystal, and Crystal will contact somebody in the tech committee who is qualified to go to your apartment and help you with your in-apartment issues. That could be your desktop. I know they've done hearing aids. I know they've done so many different things. It just depends on what they are able to do. But keep in mind though, please, if they come and help you, don't call them back at their private number the next time you need help. Please go through Crystal again. They're volunteers and they drop like flies if they get overused. So please, please, please call through us so we can make sure that everybody is helping you and that not just one person is getting inundated with all of the requests. Next slide, please. And last slide, so please stay awake, one more. The core, you're the core of our mission. Rock and Freedom Plaza are the result of a vision that would find retirees in a comfortable, upscale, continuing care community. Rock's mission is to assist Freedom Plaza in providing a coordinated and seamless system of services, say that 10 times fast, and resources to market Freedom Plaza and to provide continuous assistance to the residents of Freedom Plaza and their surviving family members. Again, Rock office is on the 3rd floor, across from the B and C elevators, and we are open to everybody. You do not have to have military affiliation to use our services. As soon as you signed on that dotted line with that life care contract, you became a Rock member. So come see us just to say hi, get your picture taken for the pictorial, bring back your Rock forms. Whatever we can do to help you, please stop by. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you very much. We are the only community within the LCS family who has a Rock. Rock is priceless. Those of us who've lived here a while and experienced it know that. Karina has been here for a very long time, 18 years. Karina is priceless, and so is her staff. And what she said about helping the widows whose husbands were military, the paperwork and the strange trail, the maze you have to go through to make sure you get your benefits is overwhelming. I've always told everybody, if my husband drops dead, the first phone call goes to Karina. Because that's the person who will be able to help me the most. Is there anybody here who has had a Rock experience that he or she would like to share? Let me bring you the mic, Kathy. This is not a plant. This is unrehearsed.
My name is Kathy Miller, and I'm in 217, and I cannot begin to tell you how much Rock has meant to me since I moved here. I could not have done it without their help. And Karina, I want to thank you especially for taking me under your wing and giving me the right people to help me, because I didn't know what to do. So just know that we are very lucky and blessed to have Rock here. So utilize them. They're wonderful.
For a second, Sarah. First place, I would not be the president doing the work I'm doing if I didn't have a great vice president. She put together this whole event for you. She worked hard with all the departments. She made sure there was some consistency in the slides. She took care of all of it and said, would you like to speak? So I really didn't even have to do that. And not only that, with all that going on, she celebrated her birthday 3 days ago. So I want to thank you, Sarah, so much for all that you have done. If we can start the slide. The Resident Association Council are your eyes, your ears, and your voice back to the management of this. I mean that sincerely. We have a team of over 120 volunteers, many of them sitting in here, that are part of committees, that are chairing committees, that are helping out. Don Moore in the back is part of some of our committees and helping out. They do all this voluntarily just to make sure that things run smoothly here. And we gather together, and if we can go, where are we? We exist because there's a law that says if you're a CCRC in Florida, continuing care retirement community, you have to have a person or group of people representing the citizens of that community, the residents. We are somewhat unique. Many other communities have 2, 3, 4, maybe a little committee of 8 people. Like I said, we're 120 people here helping you. And we'll talk about how that happens. If you could move on, please. Well, can't even see these things. So I'm going to move over here because you can't see me anyway. Okay. Well, we tell, as you heard from Angie, we work together. We tell her what the residents are thinking. We have committees that are working with each one of the directors you heard from to make sure that they're doing the job that we require based upon input we get from you. We assist management in making sure that you're taken care of. And we try to keep you informed. If you're in GVT, each of your buildings or groups of 2 buildings have a representative that's part of the council, they're council members. Excuse me? Well, I'll do that in a second. These reps in this building, we have 1 for each floor on each wing. So if you go to the next slide, we can cover that. Okay, there's all the floors, all the buildings. If you would hit it, okay, they're part of that team out there that you see on the outer circle. That is make up the RAC Council. They work with the executive committee that consists of the president, the vice president, the past president, and our wonderful secretary. Could you hit the slide, please? These are the current RAC reps. By the way, if any of the RAC reps are here right now, can you just stand up briefly? I don't think too many of you are here, but because you've been a while, but a couple of them right there. I want to thank you for all the work you do. What they do is there in your area for you to communicate with. If you go to the next slide, please. We also made up of committees. Now, these committees work with all these directors that you've seen. If you hit it, I think we'll draw some lines. Okay, well, these are the committee. You can go on to the next slide, it's okay. These are the committees that we have. Administrative Services, Associate Appreciation, Community Activities, Dining Service, Casual Dining, Finance, Golf, Health and Wellness, Housekeeping, Maintenance. Sound familiar from all these people who you were listening to earlier? Racket Sports, Technology, VIP. Let me talk about a couple of these committees that maybe we didn't touch upon. One of these committees is Associate Appreciation. You heard Karina mention that. In this community, we do not tip. We're not allowed to tip. But what we do, and we have great people working for us, is we have a fund that we collect money for, and annually we distribute money to the workers here based upon the number of hours they worked, and it's prorated. I'm not going to get into all that detail of how they do it. So when you find out about the Associate Appreciation Committee, which you probably have, and if you haven't, we'll make sure you do, you'll understand why it's important that we ask you to donate a couple of bucks a day. And, you know, personally, I haven't taken, because I'm silly, I haven't taken out weekly, $14 a week out of my account automatically, but you can do it weekly, you can do it monthly, you can do it annually. And that money then goes into providing a holiday present for our workers who serve us so well. As you can see, even from the workers who were serving us lunch and so forth, I thank them, and they're always there for us. We can move on. What does the RAC rep do? Well, it says attend meetings. No, they just don't attend meetings. They participate in meetings. They come to the council meeting. They bring information that they receive from you on the floor back, or the building that they're representing, back to the RAC council. We discuss the solutions to problems. We then may come up with something that they can work with that director, or we may have to take it to Angie to discuss it with us. They come to our general meetings, and at that general meeting, we inform you of what's going on. They are part of, through a liaison system we have, that they're part of committees, and they attend those committee meetings and again bring information back to the whole council. They come to the community meetings. They distribute information back to you, and they may have some fun activities with you guys. They plan for parties, meetings, maybe visitations to our other facilities like memory care and assisted living. But they're there to work with you, keep you informed. Next slide, please. What they do for you when you are a new resident, well, they visit you on move-in day. I know it's a bad day, but they want you to know that they're there for you. They give you phone books so that you know who to call, when to call. They give you a little yellow magnet that goes on your door that says, you know, stay in place if there's an emergency. They hand you some handbooks and guides. They make sure you know how to get a meal, which is kind of important when you first move in. Where's the dining room? They tell you how to reach maintenance, again, because when you first move in, you're going to need something. And they check on you, the sweet peas that we love, regularly. They coordinate with a host, which you are assigned through Sarah as her role of host coordinator, and Jean Aronson as our host coordinator, new host coordinator for GVT. She was here, but I guess she had to leave. And they verify you have a parking space and know where to park your car, because sometimes that can be very confusing at the beginning. Next slide, please. RACREP.org, you heard it mentioned a number of times. That RACREP.org is a couple of years old now. It provides you a way to communicate back to the department heads in certain critical areas, like maintenance, like housekeeping. If you go on RACREP.org and you see what's there, just go right ahead and play with it. It's okay. You're not going to blow up Pittsburgh or anything like that. And if you fill out a form and you want to just test it and say, hey, this is a test, that's okay too. Nobody will get upset with you. But just go on and use it. One of the key things I think on RACREP.org are our minutes, the minutes of all the committee meetings. If you have a time, sit down and glance through those minutes. It's your community, and this is what is going on in your community, and this is the areas we're focusing on at RAC in working with management. So just go ahead and play around with it. I'd love to do a 2-hour presentation on it and show you all the things that are going on there, but I'm not going to do that. Next slide, please. The couple of things I do want to mention to you is there's a little thing called suggestion box. That's an easy way to communicate back to me, the RAC president, of any ideas, any thoughts you have, any things you see. That goes directly to me, and I review those almost within an hour or so of you putting it in. And as I mentioned, minutes, very, very key to look at that. Next slide. Also want to talk briefly about our technology committee. This committee works with you. We feel that today there's so much in the way of technology, and many of us have left behind. Our grandkids come and they show us they're doing this, they're doing that, and it's gone crazy. So what we decided was we wanted to provide some way to provide assistance to you. So when you were given that computer or you're given that cell phone or any other technological item and you're lost, we're going to provide that assistance. As Karina mentioned, if you have something you can bring into her office, fine. But if you can't, or you don't have the time to do that, if you call the ROC office, they have a matrix of who can help you. These are volunteers that just that list the skills they have, and they'll make an appointment to come by and see you and try to help you or solve the problem that's going on. They also provide technology presentations. Watch your calendar for those. And they have demonstrations and workshops. Next slide, please. So far, the technology committee last year, which it was fairly new and we had viruses going on and so forth, they assisted 273 people with requests. This year so far, in the first 3 months, we've assisted over 120 people. At that rate, we're going to help over 500 people this year with challenges going on. We have seminars. We just completed an online banking basics and security presentation put on by one of the local banks. And we look for those opportunities so that you can learn more. Next slide, please. So how do you do that? Call the ROC office, schedule an appointment, or if you've gone on to racrep.org and you understand how to use it, you can fill out a little form there and it will go to the ROC office and they will assign somebody to help you with that. Everybody in that committee, including ROC, are all doing a fantastic job. Next slide. And by the way, the technology committee, if you have some skill, little skill, you know how to use Word, you know how to use a spreadsheet, you know how to do something or fix something, let the technology committee know. They'd love to add you to the matrix. It doesn't mean you're called all the time. What happens is when that request comes into ROC, they look down the matrix, they call you and say, do you have some time to help so-and-so with this problem? If you say no, nobody gets upset. If you say yes, great. So with all that, I think I'm done. Next slide. I don't think I have anything else except for questions. Sarah, was I quick enough?
It says, last but not least, here's Angie again.
So I realize I'm the only thing standing between you and cocktails. So I promise I won't talk very long. I just have a few slides. Yay. So we're going to talk a little bit about what I do as well as the administration department. So the administration department consists of Stephanie and I. And a little bit about myself. I started here as the Director of Financial Services in 2008. So I will be celebrating 14 years of service in August of this year. I did spend about a year as the Executive Director of Assisted Living and Memory Care. Then I moved back up to the big house as the Associate Executive Director. And then on February 1st, 2020 is when I became the Executive Director of Freedom Plaza. So Freedom Plaza has been my second home for a very long time. And I consider all of you my second family, as well as my coworkers, so very happy to be here. And I won't make Stephanie come up and talk, but a little bit about her. She will celebrate her 30th anniversary in July, and we all are so happy that Stephanie is with us. She refers to herself as the assistant to everyone, which is absolutely true. She is the creator of the weekly that you receive every Thursday. She started that many, many years ago. And you can go to the next slide. So we are on the 3rd floor of the Plaza building. Actually, if you go down the back staircase, and I won't recommend it because it's full of stuff, but it comes out, we are right above the 2nd floor deck that's above the entryway to the building. My office is there, and Stephanie's desk is right outside my office. Next slide. So this is the 3rd floor, and you can see that's where the map went, Sarah says. So I'm looking. So the purple area right here is my office and where Stephanie's desk is. And then the light blue is the wellness center, and that's where Lisa's located. The green offices on the top are the business office and finance office, so that's where you can find Crystal, Victoria, and Mary. Yeah, so there are the three offices on the 3rd floor. There's other offices as well. So the majority of our department head offices are located on the 2nd and 3rd floor. We have a couple sporadic offices here and there in other locations, but that's where a majority of the offices are in the building. Next slide. So I will say that the people that you heard from all day today are the ones that do the really hard work. And so I'm lucky to have such a wonderful team work for me that what I do is communicate with you, right? So I wanted to talk about all the ways that we communicate with the residents. And one of the things that we learned, and I've learned over time, is the more ways you communicate, the better chance you have of actually hitting everybody in your office or in your audience. So we have memos, and right now they go out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I will tell you, the memos started with the pandemic just because we weren't able to do a lot of in-person meetings, where we are back to doing those meetings now. And at one point we were doing a memo every day, Monday to Friday. We did get down to 1 memo a week, and as things ebbed and flowed with the pandemic, we changed the frequency. So right now we're Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and at some point pretty soon, if we keep our very low numbers, we'll probably go back to once a week with a memo from me. The next way we communicate is through the weekly, and that's Stephanie's communication tool, and that goes out every Thursday. Now, the deadline for you to submit anything you would like to be included in the weekly would be by the end of the day Wednesday, and you just drop that off to Stephanie, or you can email her what you would like to be included in the weekly. We have resident town hall meetings, which are the first Tuesday of every month at 10 o'clock in this room in the auditorium. We have appetizers with Angie, or we shorten it to apps with Angie. They are on the, Stephanie, I'm 4th Thursday?
Yes.
Fourth Thursday of every month, where there is not a RAC general meeting at 2 o'clock in the auditorium. So if there's a RAC general meeting like there was last Friday, we do not do an appetizers with Angie, but we will have one this month in April. We also do what we call floor, wing, or building meetings if you live at Gulfview Terrace, and we're getting ready to do the next schedule for those meetings. We did a round of those meetings in December and January of this year, where we meet with each floor and wing in this building as a smaller group. as well as 2 Golfview Terrace buildings at a time. And we just have, we'll come up with some topics. I usually pick a director to sit with me in those meetings, and we have some predetermined topics that we'll cover, but it's really just a chance for all of you to bring up topics that you would like addressed or questions you want answered, because not everybody's comfortable in a large forum like the resident town hall to raise their hand and ask a question. But when we have these smaller group meetings, I find they're a lot more interactive and there's a lot more participation in the dialogue. So we usually do a round, take a month or 2 off, and then we start over again, because by then there's all new topics to cover. So be on the lookout for the next schedule of those meetings. And then lastly, we have SwiftReach, and I don't know, I missed part of Civi's presentation earlier, but SwiftReach is our communication tool that allows us to communicate with the residents if there's some sort of information we need to get out to everybody pretty quickly. If we're going to test the fire alarm system, or there's going to be construction noise. But I've also used that system if we needed to communicate a last minute message from dining services. So all of you, when you moved in, there was a little form you filled out with your telephone number, your cell phone number, your email address. We can send it by phone, by cell phone, by text message, and by email. Any critical messages that we need to get out pretty quickly. So that's another method that we communicate. Next slide. So just a little bit about my responsibilities. I have oversight of the whole community, and while independent living keeps me very, very busy, I also oversee the assisted living and memory care, as well as Plaza West Health Center. So if I'm not in my office, there's a good chance I'm in another building somewhere on the campus, but I do have oversight of the whole community. Currently, I'm serving on the Board of Trustees for Leading Age Florida. And for those of you who don't know what Leading Age Florida is, it's a lobby group based out of Tallahassee that works with the Florida government on behalf of senior living providers all across the state. So they have a large group of continuing care communities that are part of the organization. They have freestanding assisted living communities, as well as freestanding nursing homes that they're all members of this association. And Leading Age Florida works in partnership with a group called FLYCRA, which is the lobby group or association that works on behalf of the residents of these communities in the state of Florida. And not to say they don't ever disagree on a topic, but for the most part, those two organizations work in partnership, and it's been a really great experience for me. The last thing I want to talk about is the open door policy, and that applies to myself. It also applies to all the department heads here. So we pride ourselves on having an open door policy. So if you walk by my office, you may not see me because the way my desk is positioned, I tend to be out of the line of sight, but if my door's open, you are free to stick your head in and ask if I have 5 minutes to talk, if you have something on your mind. That also applies to our department heads as well. So there is no topic that is off the table if you want to come see me as well. And we all work with that philosophy. So we try to be very responsive. So an example, if you feel like you've submitted a concern to a particular department, you're not getting the response as quickly as you'd like, come see me and we'll work on it together. But always, I'm available to talk. And if you come by and my door is closed or I'm not here at the moment, you can always call Stephanie and schedule an appointment. She has access to my calendar, and she is eager to do that. I have appointments coming in from Stephanie all the time. So happy to do that. I think that's it, but we can go to the next slide. Oh, no, last but not least, we have what Stephanie takes care of. So much more important than what I do, Stephanie schedules shared meeting space. So the challenge we've encountered is with all of our clubs and committees and different resident groups, getting shared meeting spaces is becoming challenging. And then when we're trying to schedule resident town hall meetings and appetizers with Angie, it's next to impossible to schedule those things without conflicting with some other group that's meeting at the same time. So, but Stephanie is the keeper of the calendars, as well as, I think Susie can help with that as well. But Stephanie can schedule shared meeting space for you. Again, Stephanie does the weekly every week. So get your submissions to her by the end of the day on Wednesdays. She has the postage meter behind her desk, and most of you have probably already know that, but if you need anything mailed, package, or you need postage for a letter, she can take care of that for you. She is the copy repairman until we actually have to call the copy repairman. So she's a jack of all trades. She is our pet record manager, although she was unwilling to take dog park manager as well. But she will manage the records. And she does a whole lot more than that, but just a couple important things for you to know that Stephanie takes care of. Well, the deadline, we like to say end of the day Wednesday, because Stephanie at that point is putting the weekly together. She starts printing the weekly. If it were her preference, she would be printing the weekly by about 1 or 2 o'clock on Thursday. But during the morning of Thursday is when she's putting it all together. So if you can get it to her by the end of the day Wednesday, that is preferable. Not to say she won't squeak something in if you get it in a little bit later than that. Any other questions for me? Now I know we do have a giveaway, Stephanie. I don't have the details up here. Oh, that's right. Oh, should we wait for the giveaway? Okay. Just come on up, Steph. So we finally managed to get her up here.
I really prefer being behind the scenes, but so I had to move the giveaway. I thought I was doing something really smart. I said instead of giving out tickets to everybody and have to deal with tickets, I'm just going to put a red dot on one of the chairs in here. So I had to move the dot 3 times because people are leaving. So I've been very sneaky about moving the dot around. But if you have a dot on your chair, either here or there, you win the certificate. So if you can look to see if there's a dot. If you have a red dot, you can raise your hand. Oh, there we go. There she is, lucky winner, Pat, new resident. Thank you. Thank you for playing. The certificate is for the anniversary party. It's for VIP seating for a table for 4, and I think Susie made it. You get wine, champagne, and something else. So congratulations for that. Thank you.
There would be no program like this if we didn't have an executive director who was so cooperative and who made sure that all of the staff were also willing and able to be here and were as cooperative as they were. I think that our department heads and Karina and Ron all did a splendid job with their presentations, and we are very, very fortunate. I'd like to say a couple of things about Angie. I've been here long enough to have lived through several executive directors. When I Thank you, Larry. When I first got here, communication was almost non-existent between the executive director and the residents. The difference that we have today is just monumental. And much of that is due to Angie. Some of it's due to COVID, but much of that is due to Angie. And I'd also like to say that we could never have an event like this without Stephanie, because Stephanie remembers everything that the person who's putting it together forgets and comes around at the last minute and bails everything out. So thanks to everyone who participated. We couldn't have done it without you. And thanks to all of you.